This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Lakers have shut down big man Anthony Davis for at least a week after an MRI showed he has an abdominal muscle strain. So at minimum, he'll miss the rest of the Grammys road trip. Wizards, Knicks, and Clippers. AD's absence, a crucial moment for first-year Lakers coach J.J. Redick, says ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins.
Now it's on J.J. Redick to get into his bag, right? He's been doing a hell of a job, but now he has to level up even more when you're missing your arguably best player, because you can't rely on a 40-year-old LeBron James. It's unfair to him. Now let's see what he does with his lineups. Let's see what he does with his offensive and defensive adjustments.
Lakers currently 5th in the Western Conference. Hawks breakout star Jalen Johnson will undergo season-ending surgery on a shoulder injury. Ohio State quality control coach Joe Lieberger placed on administrative leave last month because of a university investigation. A school spokesman told ESPN there'd be no comment because it's a personnel matter. Lieberger's attorney told ESPN he's unclear of the accusations against his client.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, Sam Darnold is the biggest quarterback free agent. I'll tell you how his decision will impact the rest of the league. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's a hump day.
Hump day.
LSU completed their coaching staff.
It's hump day.
Talk about the new hire.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Ain't nobody want the Saints job.
Hump day.
Mike McCarthy passed on it.
It's hump day.
We actually infiltrated the Saints training facility.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We wiretapped the phone call
Hump day.
between Mickey Loomis
It's hump day.
and Mike McCarthy.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You'll hear it in 1 hour.
Hump day.
Bob Hebert.
It's hump day.
Bob Hebert.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You booked Bob Hebert.
Hump day.
That would be T-Bob Hebert.
It's hump day.
Why'd you book him?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Was at the Senior Bowl. We need Senior Bowl content. He was at practice today.
Hump day.
Muse is lazy,
It's hump day.
so he just books the morning guy.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
He's on site.
Great job, Muse.
Hump day.
Way to really dig deep into the Rolodex, Muse.
It's hump day.
Looking forward to having the Bob Hebert on the show.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I'm just kidding, Muse. Kids, we talked about it yesterday. All right, let's get going. We're glad you're hanging out with us. A ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, we've been keeping an eye on the LSU coaching staff and wondering when Brian Kelly was going to fill the staff. And we've seen a lot of goings among support staff and some additions. Notably, we've talked about some of the analysts that LSU has added and support staff personnel. But on Wednesday, it was Matt Zenitz, Wilson Alexander, among others, reporting that LSU is set to hire Alex Atkins as its new tight ends coach and running game coordinator. So to be very clear, so there's no confusion whatsoever, I love this hire. So I want to give you a little bit of background on Alex Atkins, if you're not familiar, because this is a massive get both on the field and in recruiting for LSU. And something that's pretty consistent right now when you look at Brian Kelly's current staff is you have a whole bunch of dudes that, quite honestly, are overqualified for their jobs. I'll tell you more. So Alex Atkins recently was fired by Florida State. He was their offensive coordinator. And you may look at that and go, you mean the team that was just a 2-win football team? Why are you doing backflips over at that guy? Yeah, a year before he was the offensive coordinator of the team that was undefeated, 13-0, and got jobbed by the College Football Playoff Committee. Before that, Atkins played at Tennessee Martin, started his career as a GA there, did coach tight ends at Tennessee Martin back in 2008. He's gone to Marshall. He was at Itabena Community College with Gabe Fertitta, incidentally, the former Catholic High coach who was with him at Florida State and now is the OC at Nichols. He coached offensive line at Chattanooga, offensive line at Georgia Southern, spent 3 years at Tulane as the offensive line coach and associate head coach. Then went to Charlotte for a season, then to Florida State as the offensive line coach under Mike Norvell, and would eventually be promoted as the offensive coordinator. I want to remind you that in 2021, when Ed Ogeron was looking to hire an offensive line coach, he tried to hire Alex Atkins. So we talked about Atkins then. Atkins decided to stay at Florida State under Mike Norvell. Okay. LSU hired Brad Davis. That's worked out pretty well. Now you got both guys on staff. Brad Davis is your offensive line coach. Alex Atkins, your tight end coach and run game coordinator. Again, we're still at this moment waiting for it to be official by LSU, but all reports are that this is done. So you've got a guy that is a great offensive line coach that has coached tight ends, a guy that has familiarity with the state of Louisiana, having been at Tulane for 3 years, and familiarity with staff members as well. Another thing that is very evident when you look at the staff Brian Kelly has hired. Now remember, a day ago we talked about all of the changes on Brian Kelly's staff. And as of right now, the only guy on staff, talking about support staff as well, with Jazz Smith being gone and Beth Rex being gone, man or woman. The only staff member that he brought with him from Notre Dame who's still here is Jake Flint. Look at Brian Kelly's staff. Every member of Brian Kelly's staff has ties to Louisiana. Every member of this on-field coaching staff. Frank Wilson from New Orleans, we know his history. Joe Sloan, of course, coached at Tech for almost a decade before he came to LSU. Blake Baker, wife's from Louisiana, coached at LSU prior. Cortez Hankton from New Orleans. Brad Davis from Baton Rouge. Bo Davis played at LSU. Corey Raymond played at LSU. Kevin Peoples coached at Tulane. And Jake Olson has coached at Nichols, ULM, and Northwestern State. And now you're adding Alex Atkins, who also coached at Tulane. Every single member of Brian Kelly's staff has ties to Louisiana. Eureka. He's figured it out. You better get dudes that know this state, because the greatest advantage you have is this state. I could go through and talk about Alex Atkins as a play caller. I could talk about his prowess as an offensive line coach. There's plenty. Another component, of course, is his recruiting ability. Now, I want to remind you, the biggest coup that LSU pulled off on signing day was Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas, 5-star offensive lineman, had been committed to Florida State. Even amid that awful season, he stayed committed to Florida State. Only when Alex Atkins was fired did Solomon Thomas open up his recruitment process. And this was an interview that Solomon Thomas did with Rivals on December 29th about how and why he ended up at LSU.
I went to a practice and I asked my coach, my ex-coach at Florida State, about the offensive line coach at LSU. He was like, he's a great dude on and off the field. He'll take care of you, beyond the football aspect of it. And that's always been a guy who I've wanted to, play for.
So Alex Atkins had a hand in you ending up at LSU even after he had you committed at FSU.
Mm-hmm. How about that? Oh, by the way, this is Solomon Thomas talking about the reason he initially was even committed to Florida State.
Atkins became almost like a father figure to me, a father figure, a friend, somebody I can talk the Bible about. And it was nobody really like to replace him, really, or somebody I can just see replacing him at Florida State because I was there for him. In any interview I've ever done, I've always talked about how Atkins was the reason why I wanted to be at Florida State, and he was the reason why I started to like Florida State in the first place.
Okay, that's a 5-star offensive lineman. The major coup LSU got on signing day was flipping Solomon Thomas. That's him saying, I was at Florida State because of Alex Atkins, and the reason I'm at LSU is Alex Atkins told me to go there to play for Brad Davis. Well, guess what? Now Alex Atkins is on staff at LSU as well. Ching, ching. I mean, so many reasons to love this. Now, look, he's got the run game coordinator title, so he'll get a coordinator salary as well, but certainly not what he was being paid by Florida State. But remember, he's still being paid by Florida State because he's collecting a buyout at Florida State. Money wasn't going to be the be-all, end-all here. And then you start talking about the ability to collaborate offensively. I mean, Alex Atkins was the OC at Florida State when they were undefeated in 2023. This was Mike Norvell about Alex Atkins in his first season as the offensive coordinator there at Florida State.
Just a great leadership. I mean, all the things that he does and brings from a technique, fundamental development with his players, with this offense. I mean, Alex has, he has done just a remarkable job with that room. And now taking on a bigger role with the offense in general, you see his impact. And I'm just so happy for him and that he's getting that recognition because it's definitely well earned and well deserved.
Obviously, that's Mike Norvell, who, after Florida State won 2 games this year, fired Alex Atkins, but heads had a role. The coordinator's left, and now Mike Norvell is the last man standing there in Tallahassee. But Florida State's loss is LSU's gain here. And then think about the collaboration on staff. I mean, think about guys that have been head coaches or offensive coordinators on your staff. Brian Kelly, Joe Sloan, Cortez Hankton, Alex Atkins, Frank Wilson. I mean, Brad Davis was the interim head coach at LSU, of course, but he was also a co-offensive coordinator, James Madison, earlier in his career. All of your offensive coaches have either been OCs or head coaches at some point in their career. I mean, Brian Kelly has assembled a pretty remarkable staff, and he's matched it now with the talent. Just another reason to think, man, this is it, y'all. I mean, 2025 is the year. You go make a run. It is a path paved in gold. You better go make it. Alex Atkins joining LSU staff as tight ends coach and run game coordinator. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of Super Bowl 59. You want to win a pair of tickets to the Super Bowl, you can. Go to the Mockler Beverage social media accounts, and you'll see the post that has the Bud Light can with the QR code. Scan that QR code to enter to win a pair of tickets to Super Bowl 59 a week from Sunday in the Dome, again, courtesy of Mockler Beverage and our friends at Bud Light. If you're watching here on WBTR or on YouTube, there's the code right there on the screen. So you can just go hold up your phone, scan it right there. It's your opportunity to win a pair of tickets to Super Bowl 59, courtesy of Mockler Beverage, Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, we got a ton of football to get to today, but LSU does host Auburn, the number 1 team in the country in basketball. Mark Wise on the call for ESPN. He'll be with us next. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, the Watermark Downtown, the Renaissance Southtown. The Watermark is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. the original high-rise building in downtown Baton Rouge, the old Louisiana National Bank building. And listen, if you're thinking of hosting an event or you have an event coming, man, the Watermark is incredible. I've told you, it's the old Louisiana National Bank building. So they've remade so much of that building and modernized it with amenities, but maintained the historical significance, the marble, the artwork. It's incredible to walk. It's like walking into a time capsule that's been modernized. But when you go down that marble staircase in the lobby, it's down where all the bank vaults were. And they've converted those bank vaults into private space where you can have private dining, private meetings. I mean, if you're trying to impress clients or have, a group of people for a birthday dinner or something, my goodness, what a great place to do it. It's at the Watermark Hotel. Check it out, downtown Baton Rouge, the Watermark Hotel.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Told them it's not every day you get to play against the #1 team in the country on your home floor. Great respect for Auburn and the program Coach Pearl's built there. And we'll have 2 good days of prep going into Wednesday night's contest.
Matt McMahon previewing LSU and Auburn. 6 o'clock tip from the PMAC. You can hear it locally on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. Of course, you can watch on the SEC Network. That's where Mark Wise will be on the call. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Hey, Mark, we appreciate it. How are you?
I'm doing great, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure. You get a chance to watch the #1 team in the country. What's the thing or things that stand out most about what has been impressive for this Auburn team to this point in the season?
I know that they have an all-star supporting cast, but it has to start with Janai Broome. I mean, he's having a sensational season any way you define it, whether you're talking about the 10 plus 20 games that he has, the 11 double-doubles, the fact that he came back the other afternoon against Tennessee and went for 16 and 13 and wasn't even full strength playing 33 minutes in the game. So if you think about Broome in terms of the way Auburn utilizes him, it's not just the scoring, it's not just the rebounding. He's also averaging over 3 assists per game and 3 blocks a game. So he impacts the game more than the usual dude. He'll be a handful tonight for LSU.
How close, if you had a chance to watch the game on Saturday with Broome coming back off the ankle injury, how close to 100% would you guess he is?
I know he looked a lot better just moving around and shoot-around today than I thought he did the other day. I asked Bruce Pearl that question specifically. How did he come out of the game? He had a shoulder injury that he dealt with earlier in the year, and Bruce thought he had a little bit of difficulty in terms of coming back after a game. He said he had no issue. So I would look for him to be closer to 100% tonight. And of course, that would be scary for any opponent.
No doubt, and especially LSU with no Jalen Reed, as we know he's been lost for the season, so trying to find someone who can body up on a player like that. Corey Chest has been really impressive for LSU, but how do you suspect LSU to try to manage Broome and the front court there?
Well, first of all, I told Matt McMahon this today. I had to go back and watch the first half of the Alabama game again because of the rebounds, because of the 15 rebounds in the first half. And it wasn't the number that surprised me in any way. It was how he got them. There were 4 or 5 rebounds where he's on one side of the lane and goes completely to the other side of the lane and gets the rebound. I mean, he is a sensational athlete. He's quick. He's bouncy. He'll have to be at his best tonight, and he'll have to stay out of foul trouble. That'll be one thing that you have to deal with Auburn, because they have behind Broome, they have Chaney Johnson, who's playing by far the best basketball of his career, averaging in double figures, and then Dylan Cardwell. All he does is rebound and block shots. He's number 1 in the league in blocks per game. So it's a tall ask. And when you combine that with all the three-point shooters that Auburn brings to the table, I'm calling this for LSU a more than less than game. And I think for LSU, they're going to have to make more than 7 threes in the game, and they haven't done that very many times in league play. And they're going to have to make less than 14 turnovers in the game. And they average 15.5 in league play. But guess what? As Matt McMahon said in your clip there, you've got number 1 at home. And, Matt, I firmly believe this. The difference between number 1 and number 6 in this league is 1 possession. And the difference between number 6 and number 12 is 1 possession. I don't think there's any question, based on the non-conference, based on starting to beat each other up, that the SEC is the best league in the country, and the best team in the best league right now is Auburn.
No argument here. The challenge for Matt McMahon is they're probably better than they were a year ago, but in the deepest the SEC's ever been, you don't have much to show for it. Mark Wise is with us. He'll be on the call tonight on the SEC Network for LSU, hosting number 1 Auburn. I love the more than less than game there. The problem for LSU, as you mentioned, has been they're one of the worst in the country at shooting threes. Is that lack of ability, or is that shot selection? What do you see?
Well, I think at this time of the year, you kind of are who you are. Now, getting Miller back, and he's listed as whatever I don't even know what the official injury report looks like anymore. I think he'll play tonight.
Okay.
And so getting a guy, a double-figure scorer back, even if he's just 33% from deep, will certainly help. But you have to remember he had 16 days of doing nothing. And I think he's been full speed the last couple of days in practice. But how good will he be tonight? But again, he brings to the table a guy that's made three or more threes 3 different times this year. So, yeah, the genesis of all great upsets, in my view, starts at the arc. And that's where it will start for LSU tonight. They simply have to make some shots.
Something that's been hard for them to do. I wanted to ask you about Trey'Dez Green as well, who is getting a lot of buzz just because he's an exciting player. I mean, physically, he's incredible on the football field, and he played 9 impactful minutes on Saturday against Alabama. What do you see?
Did you like that block and dunk?
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, that's the kind of thing where you realize, okay, some guys, like, the hand of God just touched them and made them different. Like, it doesn't matter how much certain guy you could try or work, but, like, he just physically has a thing that not a lot of people have. But the thing, Mark, is a 6'7", 245-pound tight end is an incredible sight to behold in the football field. 6'7", 245 at forward, yeah, I mean, you're a guy out there, you know. So what do you see with Treydes?
Well, I think he's going to be a guy who's going to play 10 to minutes tonight, barring foul trouble. I think they will utilize him more and more as he gets more comfortable with the basketball pace of a game. And yeah, I know he's been with the team for a little while, but can you imagine the reverse? Taking a basketball player who didn't go to spring practice or fall practice, who hasn't been around the team, who doesn't understand the terminology, and then the week you play an SEC foe in football, you're going to throw him into the starting lineup.
Yeah,
that's basically what they're asking him to do. So I think it will be his athletic ability, his ability to get on the glass, bang people around a little bit, maybe utilize some fouls against the Auburn front court. I think that's valuable for LSU right now.
Tigers and Tigers, see if LSU can make a game of it. I know you said the making of every upset starts with 3-pointers. If there is a blueprint for Matt McMahon tonight, how does it look?
I would say make 9 threes. Here's what I think. In terms of the two things that I talked about, the arc and points off turnovers, let's call it that. They don't have to win those categories. It just can't be a big disparity. It just can't. You can't be minus 12 in 3-point differential and minus 12 in differential points off turnovers and beat Auburn. That's not going to happen. But if you can keep it close to 0, survive like they did in the first half the other day at Alabama when it was 40-40, get the game into the last 10 minutes. You got to remember now, they did this once with Broome and once without Broome, but they played a one-possession game on the road at South Carolina, played a one-possession game on the road at Georgia. So these things can happen. You can be the hang-around team, and then who knows?
Mark Wise will be on the call, SEC Network tonight, 6 o'clock tip, LSU and Auburn from the PMAC. Appreciate a couple of minutes. Thanks so much for the time, Mark. Have a great call.
All right, thanks, Matt.
It's our pleasure. It's after further review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. You can always start at firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. Go to the website. That's how you can get connected with a local lender. Maybe you live on the North Shore. They've got an office in Tangipahoa. You want to do business with someone who lives where you live, talks how you talk, you could do it. Even if you're looking to buy property in Mississippi or Texas or Alabama or Montana or Wyoming, it doesn't matter. First South Farm Credit can help you buy land in any of the contiguous 48. It's First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Why do you finance your land with First South Farm Credit? Because it's all they do. If you want to buy land, you deal with people who help people buy land all day. That's all they do and have done for more than 100 years. First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro returns in about 15 minutes around the SEC coming up. Here was Matt McMahon, though, on how LSU can improve its three-point shooting. Look, you heard Mark say it there. He thinks LSU needs to hit 9 threes. It's just something they've not been able to do well.
Number one is confidence. Offensively, can we do a better job of creating some higher percentage threes? But overall, I don't know that we're going to overnight become an elite three-point shooting team. But I thought we took more predictable shots on Saturday night, which gave us an opportunity to get to the offensive glass. And I think that's got to be part of our formula as we move forward, getting those 17 offensive rebounds. The opponent's getting 12 and 14 more field goal attempts than us because of the offensive glass and the turnovers. In this game, we got 10 more field goal attempts than Alabama. So I think it's got to be a combination of all of that.
LSU, only Texas A&M makes a lower percentage of their three-point shots among SEC teams than LSU. LSU's at 30.8. Texas A&M is at 30.7. So you've just not been good enough See if they can do it tonight against the number 1 team in the country. Tall task, but you can watch the game on SEC Network or listen in the Baton Rouge area on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. Okay, let's knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll go around the SEC. Stick around.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Duplessis Builders. There's so many reasons why, if you're thinking of building that pool, that outdoor kitchen, working with Duplessis Builders is an advantage. How they stand out, their beautiful workmanship, their 10-year workmanship warranty, the fact that Derek Duplessis is a mechanical engineer with a minor in aerospace engineering. He's literally a guy that was a rocket scientist, and now is building pools. So the craftsmanship is incredible. But the different ways that they go above and beyond, like if you go to the website, duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net, there's a tab at the top of the page for Our Book. Hit that tab, the Our Book tab at the top of the page, and you can see it's this comprehensive guide about building a pool. And it helps you to be informed about that process. Who else does that? Nobody. It's why you go with Duplessis Builders. It's a better experience, a beautiful product with a 10-year workmanship warranty. duplessisbuilders.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust want to help you cover your car payments. It's a $5,000 grand prize with a bonus chance to win free car washes from Benny's Car Wash for 6 months. We're also letting you earn extra entries by subscribing to our LouisianaSports.net daily newsletter. To sign up, visit 1045ESPN.com.
Really easy. Go to 1045ESPN.com, or you can go to LouisianaSports.net. You'll see a little flag that flies right on the homepage when you do that. really easy way to sign up for the newsletter. It's just an email that'll come to your inbox. Email that'll come to your inbox every morning just with links. So if you go to louisianasports.net, you can pull this up, Holly. So that yellow flag on the left side of the page, you literally just punch in your email right there, and then you'll be registered. You'll get that every morning. Louisianasports.net, everything, of course, always free. Tons of coverage from the Senior Bowl at louisianasports.net. Ross Jackson is there for us covering the Saints. Of course, T-Bob, Jake, Rivers are all there for LSU and for the Saints with OTB in the morning. So tons of coverage. T-Bob's going to be with us next hour. They were out at practice today, so we'll kind of get a little bit of a glimpse at how day 2 of practice went. And there were 2 LSU players that really were standouts at day 1. Mason Taylor is one of them.
Mason Taylor!
And every time I open up Twitter or X, it seems like every time I'm being fed Senior Bowl content into my feed, there's just so much Mason Taylor. I mean,
Mason Taylor!
This was a touchdown pass that he caught against Billy Bowman from Oklahoma. You could pull this up, Holly, if you want to get that video. Just open up Twitter, type in Mason Taylor, and you're going to see
Mason Taylor!
I mean, he just schooled Billy Bowman, who ended up on his face, and then Taylor ends up in the end zone. So, Mason Taylor. We all know he can catch. Big part of it is his ability to go block and develop that part of his game. He was a guest Tuesday on Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, and the guys asked him what he's hoping to show this week at the Senior Bowl. Here was Taylor.
I just want to show my pride in not coming off the field and being that all-time tight end and doing everything for the team. So doing that run game, protection, and running routes, just making sure I show and showcase my complete tight end nature to doing everything tight end is really important for me.
That's a huge part of it, because we know he can catch, but if he can prove that he is more than capable and competent in the run game and as a blocker, as you heard him say, that so he doesn't come off the field, now you start to elevate. I mean, that's the thing that the first round tight ends obviously can show. Like Brock Bowers is just a freak. We saw he had 1,100 receiving yards as a rookie, but his ability in the run game is why he never comes off the field. So something worth watching this week. The other guy that's standing out, I don't think this is a giant surprise, but Emory Jones. This was a quote from Louis Riddick, who put it up at the LouisianaSports.net on our socials. Louis Riddick was talking on ESPN and said Emory Jones, off the charts football player, and he's just owning people out there at Senior Bowl practice. One thing we did see on Wednesday is Emory Jones playing right guard. And he's played both, but we saw him playing right guard. Here was Emory Jones with the media about moving into guard after playing tackle at LSU.
Honestly, it wasn't that bad for me. Coming here, I already knew what the plan was. I wanted to put both tackle and guard on tape, and that's what I'm going to try to do for the rest of the week, continue to show my game.
That's a guy who I think, if you look at Senior Bowl and who has the most to gain and the most to lose and all that through not only Senior Bowl but Combine, the whole draft process, Emory Jones before the season we all saw was sort of, Will Campbell was a projected top half of round 1 guy. Emory Jones was kind of a projected back half of round 1 guy, like a 20s pick. And as the season went along, we saw Emory Jones draft stock slip a little bit to where you just don't see him in mock drafts in the first round anymore. A week like this could change that. When you go to Mobile and you show you can play guard and tackle and you're going against the best guys day in and day out, and you show the physicality, which, Emory's done that a lot. It's a big part of his game, and he was playing a lot of this season on a bum ankle and with a couple of injuries. But my goodness, when you go out and you have a week like Emory could have here at the Senior Bowl, it's a great opportunity, man, for him to go show off for scouts. And it was a big rep that he had against Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M that got a lot of people's attention. Fended off a bull rush, so you can go check all that. But Emory was also asked what teams have told him they want him to work on.
Just my hands, my balance, just my overall game, technique, all the things. You can never get good enough. You always want to try to be climbing. One thing that I kind of pride myself on is not climbing. You never stop climbing, no matter where you at, how good you're doing, how bad, you keep climbing.
So Jones, who's played both guard and tackle, seen him get plenty of work at both this week there in Mobile. huge opportunity to potentially play his way back up into maybe a late first-round pick, so we'll see. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone. It's Relief Windows, where when we talk about Relief Windows, we talk about replacing your windows one time. Remember, you can call other companies who are going to be cheaper, undeniably. If you're just shopping price, Relief Windows will not be the cheapest. You will find someone who will sell you windows cheaper. But you won't find anyone with a true lifetime transferable warranty, which means you do this once and you're done forever. They're going to give you custom windows that are measured twice, installed once, made to install specifically at your home. You're going to get a great customer service experience, and anytime you need them forever, they come and it doesn't cost you anything. That is a true lifetime transferable warranty. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, Bourbon Dictionary in less than 10 minutes right now. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Florida Gators.
Florida's closed its investigation into men's basketball coach Todd Golden, finding no evidence that he violated Title IX. It was a 4-month investigation following a complaint filed against Golden back in September that included allegations of sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, stalking, cyber stalking, that from multiple women, including students. The initial report was in the student newspaper. A separate Title IX inquiry involving Florida assistant coach Torian Green that includes sexual assault allegations is also ongoing. Golden's 39 years old. He's in his third season as the head men's basketball coach there at Florida, and the Gators are a consensus top 10 team in the country right now.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
State will be without one of its key players for the rest of the year. Guard Kanye Clary, ruled out for the season. Suffered a lower leg injury in December, has not played since. Head coach Chris Jans announced on his radio show Tuesday Clary will be out for the year. Penn State transfer, averaging 6 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound per game. That was through the first 7 games before the injury.
The Texas Longhorns.
And a Texas twofer here. Ohio State defensive lineman Hero Kanu is transferring to Texas. Hayes Fawcett was the first to report it. Afterwards, Pete Nakos came and reported that Kanu has signed with the Longhorns, so it is official. Played in 15 games for the Buckeyes this year, recorded just 4 tackles. He was a 4-star in the class of 2022. Originally from Germany, moved to the States in California in 2020, didn't start playing football until spring of 2021, the 5th transfer edition for the Longhorns in this cycle. And then a pretty incredible story if you didn't see it, but Texas athletic revenue, their operating expenses were $325 million for 2023-2024, the fiscal year. It's the first program in college athletics history to spend over $300 million in 1 year. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Lowest prices on hormone replacement therapy and never any contracts. Gentlemen, you want to feel like your younger self? You want to feel good again? Simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Go to yourgoodwood.com. That's yourgoodwood.com. All right, quick break. Come back. Taylor Calandro will be here for a little Bourbon Dictionary. T-Bob Hebert will join us from Mobile in about half an hour. We'll get a practice report from day 2 of the practices there at the Senior Bowl, so we'll look forward to that. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about Action Industries because I love telling you about great local businesses. And Action Industries, one of the things that they did that is truly remarkable is a few years ago, they recognized as they were growing as a company that if they wanted to continue to grow and scale, they actually needed to take a step back to refine their process to then be able to take a step forward again. It's not an easy thing for any business to do, but that takes humility and vision, and that's something Action Industries has. It's why when you look at the ways that they've done incredible work inside the fence, as they say, for all the petrochemical, the refineries, their safety record, exemplary. The reason, they rely so much on repeat business, the reason they keep getting hired for the last 43 years is because they do outstanding work. And it's because they have great leadership and great people. It's Action Industries. Remember, they've got the Advanced Turnaround Group. It's a turnaround division within Action Industries, completely separate set of resources. Check them out. It's Action Industries.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
Wrapping up hour number 1. Taylor's here. Yo, dude, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We missed last week.
Good to hear from you. Yeah.
I know. We missed last week because it was snowing, and we were all just sitting at home because everything was iced over. But it was a good opportunity to drink some whiskey.
Yeah, absolutely. The kids made me want to drink.
Yeah.
Not the snow, man. I told my wife, if this happens again, we're leaving.
What do you mean you're leaving?
Leaving to go out of town, like on vacation or something.
Yeah, get out of town.
I'm not enduring that again.
Yeah.
Some beautiful snow, though.
Erica was mad at me. She's like, I think you're the only person in the world who doesn't want to be at home with their family right now. I'm like, it's not that I don't want to be with my family. I don't like being stuck at home, and I have a lot to do. So it was bad. I didn't like it at all.
I don't like the break in routine, and it's just everything got thrown off. But anyway, it was pretty snow for a day.
Yeah. What's new, man?
Last week we got, in the middle of the week actually, got some Jameson Triple. It's a new little Jameson release. It's finished in 3 different types of barrels: sherry, Malaga, and regular bourbon barrels like they usually do. It's $32. I tried it. It's fantastic. It's a good little Irish pour that's trying to be American. It feels like it's a little richer. It's a good Irish pour, and especially for the price, $32, I think. So yeah, check that out. It's really good, especially with St. Patrick's Day coming up.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not the biggest Irish whiskey fan. Why don't you just kind of give a kind of just a simple synopsis of the profile of it, a general profile of an Irish whiskey?
General profile of an Irish whiskey, like the Jameson and all that stuff. They distill it several times, which is different because American whiskey is not distilled several times. So they distill it several times to try to get a pure liquid to go into the barrel. So it's lighter. It's a little more muted. Now there's older Irish whiskeys that do have bourbon characteristics. I just find them a little flatter. They're good when the weather's warmer, in my opinion. Redbreast and the Spots, those are really good Irish whiskeys, and those are a little richer, more bourbony than I would say Jameson. But traditionally, Irish whiskey is lighter.
Saw that there was some Elmer T. Lee getting dropped around town. Any of that stuff floating around?
I haven't seen Elmer T. Lee. It's been a while.
Okay.
I've been so out of the release situation the past 3 or 4 weeks. I have no idea, but I haven't seen Elmer T. Lee. Okay. So I don't know.
Here's one. You can always get your questions in for Taylor. Email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Of course, you can always jump in the Buy Ford YouTube chat as well. Taylor, have you tried Mortal Bloom IPA from Founders?
Yeah, it's a good little IPA. I mean, it's not super juicy, but it's got some good haziness to it and a little bitterness too that Founders generally has with their IPAs.
This is from Josh. What's your opinion on, is this 2XO American Oak?
I haven't tried 2XO, and so
what is that?
That's I can't remember his name. Deadman, the guy that founded Kentucky Owl. He started that after Stoley bought Kentucky Owl. I don't think the relationship lasted much longer. I mean, they took full control of like creative everything and distillation and stuff. He got out of there. So 2XO is
Dixon Deadman. Dixon Deadman.
Yes, I can remember his name. Dixon Deadman. That is the guy that started Kentucky Owl. He was the master blender for Kentucky Owl, and he's doing that project now. I think they're based out of South Carolina. I can't remember, but I haven't got to try it. I haven't seen it on the shelf anywhere I've gone, so I haven't got to try it yet.
You can get your questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Have you tried Sable Bourbon?
No, never heard of it.
It says it's a celebrity bourbon. If so, what do you think of it? I'm always skeptical of celebrity spirits. You have a general feel on celebrity spirits?
I mean, generally they're meh. And now there's so many celebrity spirits. Celebrity tequila, I generally would steer clear of. And I mean, like whiskey, it just depends on what they try to attach their name to. Now, most of the time, I do not like celebrity stuff. I'm trying to think of some celebrity stuff that I do like, but Zach Brown has good wine.
Okay.
George Strait has decent tequila too. Cody go. It's all right. George Strait.
George Strait. Let's see. Recommend a bourbon or whiskey at the $150 price point.
Whistle Pig, man. I mean, the 12-year Whistle Pig is getting up there past that now. I mean, when you're spending that much money, you're kind of eliminating options, and we talk about that. You can buy a couple good whiskeys for $150, maybe not just that one $150 bottle, but I would suggest something like a Whistle Pig.
I would suggest go buy 3 $50 bottles instead.
That's my suggestion too, but just for a singular bottle. There's some out there, but it's hard to. It's such a psychological thing because I deal with customers when it comes to buying stuff, and they just want to buy something expensive, and I try to convince people it's not a very good sales tactic. You don't have to spend a ton of money to get something good, but they still want to spend the money, and I try to talk them out of it.
Yeah.
So I probably shouldn't be in retail, but
nope.
Anyway.
You should be. Talk them into buying multiple things instead of the one. And tell them, like, if they're giving it as a gift, then put 3 bottles in a gift basket with a bow or something like that. And it's a way better thing. Let someone start their own bar or their own little mini collection as opposed to the one overpriced bottle that isn't actually worth what it is because they're trying to sell you a story behind it. But such is life.
I'm really good at downselling.
Attaboy.
So
everyone else is trying to upsell. Taylor's trying to downsell. Spend less. Don't spend your money here. All right, thanks for the time, dude. We appreciate it.
All right, Matt. See you.
All right, Taylor. Of course, Calandro's, they sold the Perkins location, so the only location now there on Government, just down the street from where we are. Hey, we're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. If you weigh or measure something, remember at Michelli, they sell, service, rent the products you use to weigh and measure. ISO 17029 accreditation. I have people tell me all the time, they say, Matt, you say that, and we use it, and we know how important it is, so you're right. Like, yeah, I know. Well, I know because that's what the folks at Michelli told me, that it is that important. But they're awesome. More than 30 locations across 13 different states, and they're always looking for people, so you can go apply online, hit the careers tab at the top right, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. At Michelli, we show the world what measurement can do. All right, well, now I got a quick break. Come back. We haven't had a chance yet to touch on it, but big news on Tuesday night with Mike McCarthy withdrawing from consideration for the Saints. Where do they turn?
AFR.
We're brought to you by Parish Restoration. I was chatting with my parish friends earlier today. Of course, you all know I'm partnered on the roofing side, but Restoration, my partners with Parish, went into business with Jim Woodworth. Of course, the patented non-toxic dry fog treatment, they merged all under the Parish umbrella. It's really very simple. You have mold, think you might? Call Parish Restoration. Have odor, maybe from smoke. Maybe you bought a house and the person who lived there before was a smoker. Maybe it's smoke from a fire. Maybe it's pet odor. Maybe it's sweat odor. Maybe it's a gym facility. Maybe it's a medical facility, a school, a church that you want to sanitize because you got people coughing with flu season. Parish Restoration. There's some businesses, schools, etc., that will hire Parish like on a retainer. And once a year, they'll come by, they'll fog to sanitize, and boom, you're done. See you in a year sort of thing. It's Parish Restoration. ParishBuilt.com. Hit the restoration tab.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A significant absence for the Lakers for at least the next week. Big man Anthony Davis will be sidelined at minimum the next 3 games with an abdominal muscle strain. ESPN NBA analyst Chiney Ogwumike.
Without AD, this is going to be a huge evaluation moment to see who else can step up. And if they don't get those answers, as a guy, AD, who provides the only player in the NBA to average 25 and 2 blocks, he's great on both ends. If they don't see people that can take the step forward, I think that demand that LeBron and AD have said, we need help, will be louder and louder in the Lakers organization.
Lakers currently 5th in the Western Conference. Hawks breakout star Jalen Johnson will have season-ending surgery on his shoulder next week. Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark will not take part in a special challenge during next month's NBA All-Star Weekend. She wants her first three-point contest to happen at the WNBA All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis in July. On the Let's Go podcast, North Carolina football coach Bill Belichick suggesting renaming the Lombardi Trophy after Tom Brady. He, of course, won 6 of his record 7 Super Bowl rings with Belichick and the Patriots.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, Sam Darnold is the biggest quarterback free agent. I'll tell you how his decision will impact the rest of the league. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You soup. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We'll go over to Mobile in about 15 minutes. T-Bob and Hester, of course, are there. T-Bob will jump aboard with us. He was out of practice today. So get a sense of how day 2 of practice went. Got a handful of LSU players out there. At one point yesterday, it was really cool to see 3 LSU players all on the offensive line with, of course, Miles Frazier, Garrett Dellinger, and Mason Taylor out there as well. And you've got, of course, Emory Jones. So you've you got a lot of dudes out there from LSU rep with the purple and gold. Savion Jones there, so we'll get a sense of how the day's going from T-Bob. Guy went through something similar, that whole pre-draft process, trying to work out for teams. So we'll talk to T coming up here in about 15 minutes from right now, see how today went. Saints are still looking for a head coach, and they're getting closer. If for no other reason, it's just it's a new day. So another day has certainly brought you closer to the day that you're going to name a coach. And somebody's going to take this job because, as Mickey Loomis told us, it's one of 32. That's why it's a good job, because it's a job. Which in and of itself is indicative of why this is a bad job when you have nothing else to sell. But a lot of people are reacting to the decision that Mike McCarthy made, or that was reported on Tuesday night, that Mike McCarthy would withdraw from consideration for the Saints job, that being the only remaining job, of course. that Mike McCarthy would withdraw from the Saints job and sit out the 2025 season and then re-enter the market in 2026. It is worth noting that's exactly what Mike McCarthy did when he was fired in Green Bay. He was fired in Green Bay in 2018. He sat out 2019 and then jumped back in as Jason Garrett's replacement in Dallas in 2020. So Mike McCarthy nationally is a bigger story here because he's the guy that was a Super Bowl winning coach for the Packers and then coached the Cowboys. So all the national talking heads are talking about this more from the McCarthy perspective and less from the Saints perspective. But you look, Harry Douglas, the guy who played a long time in the NFL, here's what he had to say about Mike McCarthy withdrawing from Saints consideration.
It's not a bad thing, right? If you sit out a year, gather your thoughts, and hope for a better opening to come up so you can also have a better interview with whatever respected team in the future. And when I'm looking at teams, Freddie, that could potentially come open next season, hey, Mike McDaniel, if the Miami Dolphins can't, get on their horse, that job might be open.
Okay.
When I look at Shane Steichen and the Indianapolis Colts, if you can't seem to get Anthony Richardson going and guys to play better down the stretch when you still have an open window like they did in 2024. One more I have is the New York Giants. If Brian Daboll and company, if those guys can't get the ship moving in a different direction and in a positive and promising direction, then that's another job that could potentially be open.
Look at the direction he took that conversation. Sometimes it's good and beneficial to hear people outside of this ecosystem give a perspective because sometimes, you'd call that third-party validation, right? It's one thing if you or I say it. It's different if someone from outside, from a different perspective, is saying the same thing. But Harry was talking about looking at it from Mike McCarthy's lens, but saying, wait for a better job. I mean, Miami, Indy, Giants could all be open next year. Those would all be better jobs than New Orleans. He's right. And that's the problem New Orleans is running into. I mean, you look at Miami. What if Miami does come open next year? Okay, we got Tua. I understand Tua's got concussion issues, and we'll see what that means. And Miami was, by the way, the oldest roster in the NFL this year. But you do have a young franchise quarterback, and you've got a much better cap situation than the Saints do, as we know. Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, I mean, look, Anthony Richardson may not be the guy, but you still have a guy who is a highly thought of quarterback that was a top. It was the fourth pick in the draft. The Giants. I would assume the Giants are going to go draft the Daniel Jones replacement this year in the draft. You got a young guy like Malik Neighbors. So bottom line is all these places are better opportunities than New Orleans, which is kind of what we've talked about here for months. And at the sound of being redundant, this was always going to be the problem. We ran through that exercise where I played the role of Ben Johnson and Muse was Ben Johnson's agent. It's like, sell me on all the jobs. And we went through everything, the quarterback situation, the ownership situation, cap, draft capital, age of the roster, everything. And the Saints were, of the jobs we thought that were open or would come open, the Saints were the worst job, and it's manifesting. It's playing out. I mean, your top choice was Aaron Glenn. He picked another team. The top guy in the market, Ben Johnson, didn't even give you an interview. Aaron Glenn picked somebody else. Joe Brady said, I'm good, I'm going to stay in Buffalo. Cliff Kingsbury said, I'm good, I'm going to stay in Washington. I mean, Mike McCarthy, when you look at the McCarthy news, I know there's two ways to look at that. I should say there is two ways to look at that. One is he didn't want your job, wants to wait next year for something better, or he wasn't going to get the job. And that happens often, where if a team isn't going to hire a certain candidate, they tell the guy, hey, you're not getting this job. So publicly they can say, I'm withdrawing. It allows them to save face. Okay, that's fine. The other part of that, too, is, if you're Mike McCarthy, you are kind of being strung along a little bit here. It's like, do you ever watch the show Shark Tank? Have you ever seen that? I love that show, if you've ever watched it. It's these business people that are negotiating if they're going to buy equity into a company as an investor. But sometimes what will happen in that show is, like, the first shark will make an offer. And, I mean, here you have this person that's a super wealthy, successful business person that's made an offer to buy equity in this company. and that person's saying, it's a bird in hand, but what if someone has a better offer? So they're like, I'm going to go listen to everybody else. Well, that first person that made the offer sometimes gets ticked and is like, you know what? I'm out. Never mind. I mean, I made you an offer, and now you're going to go listen to other people. Maybe that's where Mike McCarthy was. Going like, listen, I'm interested in the job. I'm a Super Bowl winning coach. I've won 60% of my games in my career. I just had Dallas in the playoffs. I've been in the playoffs 11 times, and you want to wait and see if there's somebody better among guys that have never been a coach before? I'm good. I'll wait for a better opportunity next year. Like, maybe that's where it was with Mike McCarthy. I don't know. I mean, in time, I'm sure, as time goes on, all these guys end up telling their story. So we'll see what ultimately happened here. But the bottom line is it's another negative situation for the Saints because you have another viable candidate that, for whatever reason, has withdrawn. So if you're New Orleans, this is what you're down to. You're down to Kellen Moore, who wasn't on anybody's radar when this thing started. I mean, the initial odds about a month ago, a little more than a month ago, but middle of December, there were odds posted on who would be the next Saints coach. There were 16 candidates listed. Kellen Moore wasn't one of the 16. But it's Kellen Moore, it's retaining Darren Rizzi, and then it's Anthony Weaver and Mike Kafka. That's your list. Like, it's going to be one of those four guys. I mean, unless if there's a candidate none of us foresee that maybe pops up here late in the process, which, I mean, I don't know that I see that happening. It sounds like, I mean, you were waiting to interview Joe Brady. That's not going to happen. You're waiting to interview Cliff Kingsbury. That's not going to happen. You were supposed to interview Mike McCarthy this week. That's not going to happen. So you've done all your interviews. I mean, you've had 4 in-person interviews. It's going to be one of these guys. I mean, is it Kellen Moore? I mean, if it is, it's a young guy, offensive-minded guy. He checks some boxes. But I don't think that's the type of hire that's going to make people super pumped thinking, yep, you found the guy that's going to transform this organization. And in fairness, I don't know that many people thought that about Sean Payton in 2006. And it worked. Maybe it could work with Kellen Moore. Maybe not. But it is certainly, it stings to see another viable candidate scratched off the list. Because what's left right now is not a very impressive list. It's not something that should instill a lot of confidence for the New Orleans Saints moving forward. And I'll continue to reiterate it for those that haven't heard me say it. I've been saying this for about 2 weeks now. And you're starting to hear this refrain a lot more from people. But we've been saying it here for about 2 weeks. I think your best option is to retain Darren Rizzi for a year. Now, you're not going to tell him you're retaining him for a year. Because if he comes here and he's awesome, great. I just don't think that that's going to happen. I think you're going to stink next year. But you retain Darren Rizzi, and a year from now, when your cap situation is a much better spot, after you tank, you're going to have a top 5 pick and a deep quarterback draft class to go draft your franchise. Some of those aging contracts are going to roll off of your roster, and you're a much more attractive job a year from now than you are right now. And then you go hire Joe Brady or whoever is at Ben Johnson, at or near the top of the list, because you are a more attractive destination where you can have success. You're just not right now. The market is speaking. All of these candidates that are not willing to take your job, the market is speaking. You are not an attractive spot, but you got to hire somebody. So are you playing for the short term or are you playing for the long term? Something we'll find out with Gumsmack and Mickey here pretty soon. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us. Brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com, ParrishBuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. That's me and Terrio and Tilly and Joe Morales and Trent Davis and our whole staff. A couple things to remind you about. I would highly recommend, you're listening right now, of course, or watching, give Parrish a call. Let us come do a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Especially with the snow and the ice last week, you might have had roof damage that you can't see from the ground. There's only 2 ways to know if you got damage. Let us come do an inspection, or wait till it rains to get water in your house. So remember, it's free. You don't even have to be home. It's basically just permission for our inspector to get on your roof, to walk it, mark it, chalk it. If we see any damage, we'll help you with a repair, help you file a claim if that's what our inspectors recommend. It's all there. ParrishBuilt.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. ParrishBuilt.com. Let us come do that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. If you're worried about cost, remember, we offer financing as well. If it's financing the cost of your roof, if it's financing your deductible, if you need help with that, It's Parish Construction and Roofing. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Just go fill out the form on the homepage at parishbuilt.com. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. We starting next hour, we'll reset the Alex Atkins conversation if you missed it. It looks like LSU's hiring Alex Atkins as the new tight ends coach at LSU. But they also are adding a defensive analyst who's got head coaching experience as well. That news broke on Tuesday night. We'll get to that here in about 45 minutes. Let me knock out a break. Come back. We'll head to Mobile. T-Bob's over there. Just coming off the practice field. We'll see how the Tigers looked. The Tiger players over at Mobile at the Senior Bowl looked. We'll get to that next on AFR.
After further review.
Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, title sponsor of our Wednesday shows all throughout the year. Gentlemen, if you want to feel like your younger self, you can. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help you get there. There is no sense in going through life feeling sick and tired all the time. And some of the best things about Goodwood, aside from the fact that, of course, you're going to start feeling like your younger self with that renewed vitality, they have the lowest prices and never any contracts. So if you're worried about you're going to have to break the bank, or if you're worried about, am I going to get stuck into a long-term no, you won't. Never any contracts and lowest prices guaranteed. It's Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Remember, aside from hormone replacement therapy, they also have ED treatments, and there's a variety of different treatments. So they have many different things that can work. So even if you've tried something in the past that hasn't worked, maybe this is the time to give Goodwood a call. Log on to yourgoodwood.com. That's yourgoodwood.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343.
Further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
This is a good opportunity just because this is the best league against the best.
I can show that I can do this against anybody and not just like the teams we play against. I can do this against better players.
Garrett Dellinger, Miles Frazier, Emory Jones, Mason Taylor. Savion Jones, they're all in Mobile. So are Hester and T-Bob and Ross Jackson and Rivers. T joins us now. Yo, dude, how are you?
Good, man. I actually just talked to the media event is going on right now, and so just wrapped up doing a few interesting interviews. Talked to Deion Walker out of Kentucky,
nice.
Miles Frazier. Wait, how did we not know that Miles Frazier is a media superstar?
I had him in studio one time, T, because he's a Get Gordon athlete, and so he and Noah Cain. Remember Noah Cain, the running back at Penn State?
Yeah.
They both came in studio once, like 2 years ago, and he was great, man.
Bro, he is like awesome, and he's confident. He opened up the interview like, "Oh man, I've been kicking ass. You know, I've been beating everybody." He is feeling it right now. Just talked to Jack Besh. That was great. He's been doing very well on the football field. Obviously, as well, Tiger being honored like the hero he is. But, man, you want to talk about an impressive young man, hearing Jack talk about this week and, you know, and adversity and perseverance and his reliance on faith and God and Jesus and his brother. It was some really, really powerful stuff. So it's been a very good time down here in Mobile thus far for sure.
You know, man, what's interesting?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, please finish.
Well, I didn't know if you were going to ask something about Jack. Were you?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, yeah, then I don't want to say what I was going to say because it's completely off topic. So go.
No, it's all good. I was just going to say, I remember Jack, you know, when Jack was at St. Thomas More and he committed to LSU, I remember having him on the show and just very candid. I mean, you know this. We talk to enough guys that are high school athletes, and it's uncomfortable for a lot of high school athletes to –
yeah.
And
yes.
Jack was not very good. And I remember his year at LSU, his 2 years at LSU, he would come on the show actually more frequently. And I remember telling him one time, he came in the studio, I was like, man, you've gotten so much better. And it's just a confidence thing. He's a smart guy. He's a great player. But I think all of that component is he's just gotten so much better at it. So I'm not surprised. Like, he's a guy I think that would go to Senior Bowl a week like that, talk to the NFL teams, and actually really crush it.
Well, and he's been crushing it on the field. Which is obviously first and foremost what you have to accomplish here. And he looks big, 6'1", over 200 pounds, fast, great catch radius. He probably had the catch of the day one. So it's been a really good couple of days for him thus far. The other thing I was going to say that's very off topic is shout out to Jared Ivey out of Ole Miss. I've been asking all these players if anybody's seen Lord of the Rings, and nobody has, except for Jared Ivey, who is currently, as we speak, rewatching the extended edition.
Well,
Let's freaking
awesome.
go, dude.
That's awesome. Congrats to Jared Ivey.
Yes,
on
my player of the week. He's now my player of the week.
Gigantic nerd, just like you.
He gets the OTB Player of the Week award for that. Like, this is why you sent me down here.
Actually, that kind of is part of the reason. You know, you go and you rub elbows and you have convos with these guys. Hey, real quick, T-Bob's with us. Hester and T-Bob, of course. You can catch him there all week in Mobile for the Senior Bowl on Off the Bench 7 to 10. Let's talk about the LSU guys. And before we kind of get into some of the nuance there, T, give me some perspective, like, as a player. I know you didn't go to Senior Bowl, but did you do any of the games, Shrine Game, or any of that stuff after your senior? Okay.
No, I did not. It's actually one of my great regrets. I think I had was it East-West? I had one of them as an invite, and I was so bitter and, like, burned out at the time. I lacked and immature that I think I turned it down. And I really wish that I would have gone and tested myself.
Well, when you go watch these drills, how much of a correlation do you think there is from, like, what these guys are doing in practice and games with really a month layoff, maybe a little bit longer than a month for some of these guys, T, to, like, what they're going to be doing there at the Senior Bowl?
Well, I mean, think about Dellinger, right? He hadn't played since A&M.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about having to knock the rust off a little bit. There was definitely that. I mean, no, it's an NFL practice. it's an NFL practice, probably with a bit more of an emphasis on one-on-ones and at a way higher in intensity because every single person is trying to prove themselves. Like, these are the most important reps you have probably taken in your life up to this point, or at least that's the way that it feels. So on top of being a huge physical skill check against the best players in the entire country, it becomes this massive mental skill check as well. Who can take that context and compartmentalize it? Who can shrink it down? Who can be present? And who can not make the moment too big? Like, all that stuff is kind of the undercurrent of these practices.
Hey, who do you think stood out today in day 2 of the on-field work?
Dude, I mean, look, I've fallen in love a bit. I can't get enough of Willie Lampkin, our little 5'10", 270-pound interior offensive lineman hero out of UNC. I mean, my guy, he is an undefeated wrestler over 4 years of high school, and you can see it as he's out here battling against Deion Walker, Cam Jackson. Like I said, I just talked to Deion Walker. I was looking I felt like I was looking up at the trees, and I've got a half a foot on this cat. So he's been a lot of fun to watch. Like I said, I mean, Miles Frazier has had a really good couple of days. He's excelling at right tackle, and it's interesting. He credited the bowl game training as being excellent cross training, getting him ready. He basically hit there could not have been more perfect preparation for him than to have to get ready to play right tackle in that game, because as he stated, he wants to prove that he's the most versatile swing guy here in Mobile, and he's thus far he's kind of living up to that billing, I would say.
How do you think Emory Jones looks at guard?
Natural. I mean, right? It's kind of funny. It's pretty much what we all always expected, right? I mean, I have a pretty firm rule of thumb. If you can play tackle, you can play guard, right? Like, I don't think you can go the opposite direction. Maybe sometimes you get a little tall to be guard, but I mean, I don't know. Like, if you can play tackle, you should be able to play guard. So seeing Emory do that, I expect him to just continue to get better and better there, and really, like, he's finally playing what probably is his most natural position.
Yeah. He looks good in a lot of the reps that I've seen. Is there anybody else, T? I mean, it seems like every time I open up any of the Senior Bowl stuff, Taylor's catching balls and like dusting dudes. I mean, is it that? Look, it's one thing to see a highlight, but how does it actually look out there? Rep in, rep out.
The tight ends have been having a really good time. Mason Taylor and Arroyo from Miami specifically are two guys whose names appear to be on kind of the tip of everyone's tongues. For Taylor specifically, though, what people seem to be enjoying more is his blocking. He's been blocking well. And that, I think, was his entire goal coming into this week, to prove that he can be, that he is the complete tight end. And so he's done really well in that regard. I mean, really, I think Deli's probably, out of the LSU guys, Deli's probably had the moments where it's like I said, maybe knocking a little bit of rust off. But really, the LSU guys have been they've had good weeks. Right? The whole goal of this is you enter the week perceived as one thing, and the bottom line is you just want to have that go up, right? Because you're either going to go up or down based on how you do. And I feel like probably all those guys are up to varying degrees, some more so than others.
Do you get a chance to talk while you're there to the NFL scouts, coaches, any of that? So, but on air and then obviously off. I mean, just if you're standing there at practice or whatever. I'm curious what you hear people say on or off the record about.
So this interview is a little ill-timed because I just lucked into a bit of a treasure trove of information in that regard, but I haven't had a chance to review it yet. It was literally within like the last 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, no, that's a great thing, because now we get to tell people that's why you should listen to Off the Bench from Mobile.
Study it up tonight.
Tomorrow from 7 to 10 a.m., presented by L'Auberge Hotel and Casino in Baton Rouge, and we appreciate them very much.
Shout out L'Auberge, man.
And so you can listen to Hester and T-Bob in the morning, and then, of course, you can get all the coverage as well at LouisianaSports.net for free because Ross is doing a lot of our Saints coverage there, but I'm sure you guys are kind of cross-training a little bit, so that's really good.
The site's great, guys. If you haven't checked out LouisianaSports.net yet, it is in my rotation for show prep. It's a great way to keep up with everything.
We're glad we can give you all the information you need because you don't do any work.
That's literally the exact opposite. You're the one that throws I don't read anything. I don't read anything. I don't read anything. I just do math, I don't read anything.
No, I said I don't read.
I'm too smart.
I'm
too smart to read.
No. So don't read.
That's you. I'm too smart to read.
So don't read other people's columns. I'm not interested in other people's opinions. Is my point.
What about their rows?
The what?
Their rows.
Oh, columns or rows. Got it. Yes. There it is. That's usually reserved for weekday mornings, 7 to 10 a.m. And you've brought down the intelligence level. You were doing so good too, and then you just sort of brought everyone's intelligence level down now.
Well, I was just trying to meet you at your level.
Yeah, that's just not actually how that works at all.
Rim shot me again, Moose.
Did you just say rim shot me again?
Yeah. I mean, that's what that's called. That's a rim shot.
No, I know.
I know you know. Hit it again.
This feels like every Saturday of my life during the fall. Just without the whiskey and the annoying people behind me tapping me on the shoulder and like trying to get my attention. All right, enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you for the time.
All right, boys.
All right.
Listen tomorrow. We're gonna have a lot of good inside info.
Well, we'll look forward to that, Greg. That's T-Bob Hebert of Off the Bench. They're doing a good job, so we appreciate Hester and T-Bob and Rivers down there, and of course Ross as well. So radio. Our video content on social media, Ross with all the written content at LouisianaSports.net. Appreciate your feedback as well. Let us know anything you want more or less of. Happy to do it. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. Want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever? You can do it. It starts with that free consultation from the Williamson Eye Center. You meet with Kyle. She's the consultant there. You can do it virtually. So if you have 20 minutes in the car on the way to or from work, you want to jump on a Zoom or a phone call, you can do that easily. It's really just information gathering. Learn a little bit about you, and then they'll make a recommendation based on that consultation. It's totally free. Based on that, then see if you go have an appointment with Dr. Blake and learn and explore what all your options are, get your questions answered, and see if a refractive procedure is right for you so you can ditch the contacts and glasses forever. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Alex Atkins looks like he's going to be the new LSU tight ends coach, run game coordinator. He was the OC at Florida State last year. Great hire. We opened the show talking about that today. If you missed it, you can get that on demand. Just search AFR LSU Saints podcast, on YouTube or podcast. LSU also added another defensive analyst who I want to talk about. We'll do that at the top of next hour, so about 30 minutes from right now. When we come back, though, could the NFL be changing the kickoff rules? Some thoughts on that. And I sent Muse on a mission to infiltrate the New Orleans Saints football complex to learn what he can about how Mickey Loomis is conducting this search. And very interesting phone call that he was able to record. You'll hear that next on AFR.
After Further Review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com. But I always tell you about how Gordon is so interwoven into the community. He always says, like, he's been fortunate. Our community's blessed him, and he's loves to give back. Every spring, one of the events that I MC is the Down Syndrome Awareness Group Buddy Walk, and it's an awesome event downtown Baton Rouge, and it's this giant grassy area next to the near the state capitol, next to the Pentagon barracks out there, and there's always every year a big Gordon McKernan sponsor booth there with tents and giving away T-shirts and bottled water and all that stuff. Gordon's a great sponsor of that. like so many other charities that he gives to charitably. It's part of Gordon Gives, the charitable arm of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Just one of many different ways that Gordon gives back to the communities that he serves. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make yourself in trouble with the law. Know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
OTB, AFR, and the Hunt Palmer Show are hitting the road to spend the week on Radio Row, walking you up to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Our coverage is presented locally by L'Auberge Casino Hotel in Baton Rouge. Listen on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Listen on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and watch on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel.
Continue, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Gents, you want to feel like your younger self. Hormone replacement therapy could be the solution. Learn more, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. So we all know that the New Orleans Saints search for a head coach continues. And it has been it's been difficult and somewhat magnified by the fact that the Saints fired Dennis Allen after week 9. Remember? They were 2-7. It was a 7-game losing streak. So, if you would have fired your coach at the end of the regular season, you're talking about right at the start of January. Well, the Saints have had effectively half a season plus this time now. They were the first to fire their coach, and now I guess the Jets weren't the Jets fired Saleh before the Saints fired fired Dennis Allen. But now you're still waiting to hire your coach. And this just lingers. And it feels like nobody wants your job. And you're having trouble finding somebody who's going to be interested and having trouble making a decision. So as we are wont to do from time to time, we put on our true journalist hats, and we try to go get you answers. And so I sent Muse to the New Orleans Saints facility there in Metairie in a very covert operation. Now, we sent Muse because he's tiny, and so he could get into small spaces and not be detected. So, Muse, as I understand it, went into Mickey Loomis's office and bugged the phone. And we found out on Tuesday night that Mike McCarthy was withdrawing from consideration for the New Orleans Saints job. And we actually have audio of the phone conversation between Mickey Loomis and Mike McCarthy when Mickey was offering him the job and Mike McCarthy turned it down.
Tire World.
Mike.
Mickey Loomis.
The New Orleans Saints.
How would you like to
be the next head coach of the New Orleans Saints?
I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? This is a chance to manage it.
In our league.
Let me think it over, will you?
Mickey.
Hey, I got a guy on the other line about some white walls. I'll talk to you later.
Great work, Muse.
Thank you. It was risky.
Compelling, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe the biggest thing to take away from that is, well, obviously Mickey Loomis is surprised when he's not immediately meted with an acceptance of his offer. But apparently we also learned that in stepping away from football, Mike McCarthy's working at, what did he call it? Did he call it Tire World?
Tire World, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he says right there at the beginning of the call.
Tire World.
See? I mean, Mike McCarthy's answering the phone at Tire World.
He just wants something to keep him busy. I mean, he's not going to coach this year,
I get
man.
it. I mean, selling white walls.
Selling white walls. Kind of back in time a little bit there, white walls, man.
Some people, man,
yeah,
those tires.
They should come back. I think they're good.
But what I would suggest, actually, if Mike is looking to be in the tire business, I mean, go work at Shaw Bills.
Yeah.
Go work at Shaw Bills instead of whatever that other place he was talking about. I mean, that doesn't sound reputable at all.
Yeah. Tire World.
So, Mike, if you want to get into the tire business, I can hook you up with Martin. I'll hook you up with Miss Beth over there at Shaw Bills. We get you a job if that's what you're looking for, something to keep you busy. But did you notice also that Mickey on that phone call was smacking his gum?
Yeah, he was. I noticed it. I mean,
Mickey Loomis.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, he's smacking his gum on the phone when trying to offer someone a head coaching job.
his throat's probably bothering him again. Isn't that what he said last time?
I think you're right. He said it was his throat.
Mickey Loomis.
It's got to be his throat. It didn't sound exactly like him. You know, probably a little scratchy throat.
He sounded a little bit more nasally than normal.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Probably on account of the gum. The gum on account of that nasal.
Mickey Loomis.
So they offered Mike McCarthy the job. You know what else was interesting? I guess I don't listen to Mike McCarthy too much, right? I mean, I see Mike McCarthy on the sideline all the time, but I'm not like hunting Dallas Cowboy post-game audio. So I don't really hear Mike McCarthy talk a ton. I guess I didn't realize his voice was so gravelly.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of.
I didn't remember it sounding like that. That's for sure.
Kind of gruff.
Yeah. Definitely a little gruff.
Hey, I got a guy on the other line about some white walls. I'll talk to you later.
He's serious about that business.
He is, man.
He is serious about tires.
He goes. If you're going to do something, do it right. Go all in.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's your commitment. You made a commitment. Got to get him over to Shaw Bills.
Yeah.
Got to get him away from Tire World.
Absolutely.
But did you hear just how surprised Mickey was whenever he offered him the job? And did you notice he even dropped in our league? In our league. I mean, he offered a chance to coach in our league.
In our league.
Not in the NFL. In our league.
In our league.
Great work, Muse.
Thanks.
I mean, that's our commitment to you, dear listener or viewer. To go behind the scenes, to put ourselves at risk. Take that, Nakamoto. Man, I don't see Nakamoto out there. Well, I think he did get arrested once, probably.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
I think so.
Muse is out here willing to get arrested. They have to find him first.
Yeah.
Hard to do.
I was stealth, man. I was stealth.
You're wearing your invisible hat.
No, I don't understand. Did you? I don't
The
know.
hat made you invisible?
Oh, you mean the sunglasses?
No, your hat.
My hat. Okay.
I get the Big Daddy reference.
Yeah.
I was just
Well,
trying to
I was kind of confused where you were going with that.
I was
I'm not
trying to
gonna lie.
reference your hats.
Yeah. I had a hat all day. It's been a minute.
Since you've worn a hat?
Yeah, to work at least. I mean, I wore a hat like Sunday, but
I didn't notice.
Oh yeah, man, it's been a while.
It's the invisible hat.
The invisible hat.
All right. So Mike McCarthy turned down the job. He's going to work at Tire World, and see who's next. Darren Rizzi, Mike Kafka, Anthony Weaver, or is Kellen Moore actually the guy? Find out soon enough. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. Got issues with your heater? Our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air can help. And remember, I always, and they always encourage you to go read the reviews. They've got more than twice the amount of 5-star reviews of the next closest competitor. This one from Sharon Thomas said, Colin was very professional, explained various aspects of what he did, gave recommendations to improve the life of the system, very satisfied. Another 5-star Google review for River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, give them a call today, 752-0001, or online at 1hourbr.com for River City's 1 Hour Air. Got issue with your HVAC, anything going on there, you can trust our friends, the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. River City's 1 Hour Air.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Wilson Alexander reporting it is official that LSU has hired Alex Atkins as the new tight ends coach and running game coordinator. Had been widely reported. Wilson reporting now that it is done. So Brian Kelly's staff now finished, and the 10th on-field assistant is Alex Atkins, coming over from Florida State, where he spent the last 4 seasons. Last 2 as the offensive coordinator, was the OC in that great team that was 13-0 before, of course, all the injuries and or the injury to Jordan Travis, the defections they lost in the Orange Bowl. But just a disappointing year this year. Both coordinators were fired. Alex Atkins was part of that. So LSU ends up getting a dude with a ton of experience, a great recruiter, great background, great coach on staff as a tight ends coach, run game coordinator. And, man, every single offensive coach on Brian Kelly's staff, forgive me, every single coach on Brian Kelly's staff now has ties to Louisiana. Atkins was at Tulane for 3 seasons. Every single coach on staff is from Louisiana, played at LSU, coached in Louisiana, something like that. Pretty incredible, as Brian Kelly clearly understands now the necessity there. But Alex Atkins, it's official, is the 10th member of Brian Kelly's staff. Okay, Muso. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, we'll start with some NFL offseason news here. Cincinnati Bengals Director of Player Personnel, Duke Tobin, spoke with the Cincinnati Enquirer at the Senior Bowl this week and said that re-signing Jamar Chase to an extension is, quote, a priority for us. When asked, how they go ahead and get it done, because remember, Chase already turned down an extension this summer, Tobin mentioned that there's a framework to work off of, and also added that it, quote, should be a pretty easy framework to work off of. The reason Chase rejected the last contract offered last summer was due to, quote, cash flow.
Cash flow.
Maybe they figured that out. Of course, they also would like to re-sign T. Higgins. We'll keep you updated on what happens with Jamar
how about
Chase.
Trey Hendrickson?
Yeah, him too. Yeah, him too.
Good.
Man, don't let him get out of your building. He's really, really good player. Linebacker Patrick Queen has brought LSU's Pro Bowl total back up to 8. He is replacing Ravens linebacker and his former teammate Roquan Smith. It was really a solid year for Patrick Queen. 17 games, 7 starts with the Steelers. Almost over 125 tackles, 6 of those for a loss, and he did have a sack. So really good year. He now brings LSU's total back up to 8 Pro Bowlers as he joins the AFC side of it. And then a couple of guys in the G League to get you up to date on. Javonte Smart, proven to be one hell of a sixth man for the Osceola Magic. 26 minutes off the bench a night ago, dropped 21 points in those 26 minutes as well. 8 of 16, 50% from the floor. He's just been phenomenal. And then Trey Hannibal, of course, who we told you a few weeks back, signed with the Motor City Cruise, affiliate of the Pistons. 11 minutes off the bench, just the 2 points, but also dished out 2 assists. The 2 points actually came at the free throw line there in limited action for Trey Hannibal as he continues to carve out a role with the team. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Evermore. Remember, y'all, balance is everything, man. Maybe you have that glass of wine, a cold beer, whatever it may be, cocktail. You want to make sure you stay hydrated as well. Evermore. a rare alkaline source, pH 8.8 to 9.1. It is natural artesian water. This is a healthier alternative. Remember, you go pick up other bottles of water, you'll see things like minerals added for flavor. There's nothing added or taken away from Evermore. This is a natural artesian product. It's out of a natural artesian well on the North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain in Covington. The well is right there on the bottling plant site. They pipe it out of the well into the plant, bottle it. It doesn't touch air until you uncap it and take that first delicious sip. It's Evermore. Drink Evermore. EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. Available online or at great local retailers. Find that retailer near you at evermore.com. You can see a store locator at the website, EVAMOR, evermore.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Been a busy couple of hours. If you missed it, we had Mark Wise from ESPN, college basketball analyst. He'll be on the call tonight for LSU and Auburn. We previewed the game. If you missed that conversation, you can get it on demand at 1045ESPN.com or on YouTube. Interesting, Mark said that he believes LSU's got to hit 9 threes in this game. And they obviously not surprising here. Say you have to hit threes and limit turnovers. But, LSU right now is averaging about 15 turnovers a game, and you're talking about an Auburn team that turns its opponents over about 14 times a game. So LSU's got to stay under that number if you're looking for targets. I mean, you got to do something uncommon if you want to stay in the game with the number one team in the country. But one reason to go out, which is actually pretty cool tonight, LSU basketball is giving out little mini replicas of the Maravich Center. I mean, I think we would all love to see a new arena sooner than later, but it is kind of cool. Like, there are these little bitty Maravich Center replicas, and the top comes off of them. So the first, I don't know, however many thousand people that get out to the PMAC are going to get one of the Pete Maravich replicas. So pretty cool. Check it out. Get to the Maravich Center early tonight for LSU and Auburn. All right, hour number 3 is next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. That's where you can go, the website, to get your reservation. Gentlemen, we are counting down to Valentine's Day. Look, they're booked for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is February 14th. You know that. It's a Friday. You're out of luck if you're thinking about getting in there for Valentine's. You're done. But they do, however, still have limited seating for the Thursday and the Saturday sandwiching Valentine's Day. So if you want to get into Supper Club, if you've never been before, call and get your reservations or go online at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. They can do all the fun extras. You want flowers at the table waiting for her? They can arrange that for you. You want custom drink toppers? They can arrange that for you. You send them a PDF, a file of a photo. They'll have that as a custom drink topper when you get to your table. So many different ways that Supper Club's experience and the food outpaces everything. Supper Club.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Lakers have shut down big man Anthony Davis for at least a week after an MRI showed he has an abdominal muscle strain. So at minimum, he'll miss the rest of the Grammys road trip. Wizards, Knicks, and Clippers. AD's absence marks a crucial moment for first-year Lakers head coach J.J. Redick, says ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins.
Now it's on J.J. Redick to get into his bag, right? He's been doing a hell of a job, but now he has to level up even more when you're missing your arguably best player, because you can't rely on a 40-year-old LeBron James. It's unfair to him. Now let's see what he does with his lineups. Let's see what he does with his offensive and defensive adjustments.
The Lakers currently 5th in the Western Conference. Hawks breakout star Jalen Johnson will undergo season-ending surgery on a shoulder injury next week. Ohio State quality control coach Joe Lieberger was placed on administrative leave last month because of a university investigation. A school spokesman told ESPN there'd be no comment because it's a personnel matter. Lieberger's attorney told ESPN he's unclear of the accusations against his client.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. And now a Progressive ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big with Progressive. This has been a Progressive ad from Progressive. See if you could save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right! Woo!
Hour 3, welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's hump day.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Well, reportedly official.
Hump day.
Whale Xander on Twitter.
It's hump day.
It's done.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Per source.
Hump day.
LSU finalized deal with Alex Atkins.
It's hump day.
New tight ends coach.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Run game coordinator.
Hump day.
But wait, there's more.
It's hump day.
Another staff change.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We'll tell you about in just a second.
Hump day.
We had Mark Wise here.
It's hump day.
ESPN college basketball analyst.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Tigers.
Hump Day.
Versus Tigers.
It's hump day.
In 1 hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
LSU against number 1 Auburn.
Hump Day.
12.5-point home dogs.
It's hump day.
Let's make a memory.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Drew Brees.
Hump Day.
Next Saints head coach.
It's hump day.
You heard it here first.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Am I doing it right? Is that how it's supposed to be?
Hump Day.
Am I doing it right?
That's right, yeah.
That's it.
It's hump day.
Otterlocks.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
They're live at LouisianaSports.net.
Hump Day.
And my goodness, does the Otter need to bounce back?
It's hump day.
Let's get it tonight. All right, let's get going here. Hour 3, we're glad you're hanging out. As we mentioned there, the big news from today is that LSU targeted Alex Atkins to be the new tight ends coach and running game coordinator, the final on-field assistant job on Brian Kelly's staff, replacing Slade Nagel. And Wilson Alexander reporting that this is now done. We have yet to have a formal announcement from LSU, but Wilson is reporting that it's done. Alex Atkins will be the new tight ends coach and run game coordinator for LSU. If you missed it, open the show with this news. Would highly recommend you go catch that on demand, the full segment, audio or video. Just search AFR LSU on podcast or YouTube. You'll see it there. But the bottom line is Alex Atkins is a guy that is a very highly regarded offensive coach, offensive line coach, and recruiter. 5-star Solomon Thomas, who flipped from Florida State to LSU. He was committed to Florida State because of Alex Atkins. So now Atkins will be on staff at LSU, which is awesome. You get a guy that coached at Tulane for 3 years, so is familiar with the state. A guy that was a high-level offensive coordinator for staff meetings. I mean, just check. Awesome hire here for Brian Kelly, bringing Alex Atkins in as the tight ends coach and running game coordinator, which also means you will not have a special teams coordinator, something Brian Kelly's not done. So he'll divvy up the responsibilities and lean on analysts, et cetera. Alex Atkins, though, wasn't the only news. Several outlets reported on Tuesday night that LSU is adding Lance Guidry to its support staff as an analyst. It was announced as just as a defensive assistant. I can tell you that I think everyone has reported it now, and obviously now it's done because the Alex Atkins news is done. But Lance Guidry is being hired as a defensive analyst at LSU. And maybe even more interesting than that is the role that he's expected to play, not just as a defensive analyst, but a defensive analyst that is supposed to key on working with the star position. And that's the position Harold Perkins, of course, is expected to play in 2025. So Perkins, in returning, is going to play the star spot. And Lance Guidry apparently is going to be the guy that's working with that position in particular here in 2025. So if you're not familiar with Lance Guidry, you just haven't been around Louisiana football very long, because this is a guy that for 35 years, has been just rooted in Louisiana football. So he's from Welsh, Louisiana. If you have ever driven the stretch of I-10 from Baton Rouge to Lake Charles, you know where Welsh, Louisiana is. But he's from Welsh, played at McNeese, coached at Leesville, then coached at Karen Crow, then went to McNeese from 2000 to 03, then went back to Karen Crow, then went back to McNeese, and then was at Miami of Ohio, where he ultimately became the interim head coach. Then he went to Western Kentucky, where he became the interim head coach. Then he went to McNeese as the defensive coordinator and became the McNeese head coach. Then to Southeastern, then to Florida Atlantic, then to Marshall. And you remember how this goes because we talked about this with Andre Sam. If you remember Andre Sam, the safety who LSU got from Marshall, who started his career at McNeese playing for Lance Guidry and then went to Marshall. And when Lance Guidry left Marshall, he was going to Tulane. Remember, he got hired by Tulane. And before he ever coached at Tulane, Mario Cristobal hired Guidry to be the DC at Miami. So Andre Sam went from Marshall was going to be Tulane, then to LSU. Anyway, Guidry was the DC at Miami for the last 2 seasons. And in 2023, he did such a good job leading Resurgence that they tore up his contract, gave him an extension and a raise for 2024. And then the defense this year took a pretty significant step back. Miami had a 10-win season, but as we all know, the defense wasn't great. Cam Ward and that offense had to be pretty spectacular, and just a collapse against Syracuse cost Miami a spot in the college football playoff. So Lance Guidry got fired. I say that, and that's significant because Miami is a private school, so they don't have to disclose salaries publicly. But we can imagine, can't we, that if you're the defensive coordinator at Miami, you're a 7-figure salary coordinator, yeah. So Lance Guidry, I don't know what his buyout would have been or anything. Again, it's a private school, so they don't have to disclose any of that. But suffice to say, Miami is still paying Lance Guidry. So Guidry can come home to Louisiana, and I don't care where you went to school in Louisiana. You grew up in Louisiana, you love football, you grew up loving LSU and wanted to coach the Tigers. It's just what everybody does. And he's coached at McNeese, and he's coached at Southeastern, and he's coached in high school, and he's got deep roots to the state, and here's an opportunity to come home to Louisiana and to coach for the Tigers. Yes. And LSU can do it, can add Lance Guidry affordably because he's still getting paid by Miami. And this has become more and more common, where high-level coaches, instead of taking a step down in level, in competition, they would rather take a step down on a bigger staff. We just saw Bob Diaco do this. Bob Diaco has been a defensive coordinator, been a head coach. Well, he spent the last 2 years as an analyst at LSU. And now he's on Bill Belichick's staff. Remember when Brian Kelly got the job, he brought John Jancic over. John Jancic had been the defensive coordinator at Tennessee. Brought him over from Georgia, was an analyst that first year at LSU with the understanding that, hey, as soon as I get an on-field spot, we're going to put you on the field, which they did. And John Jancic in his second year coached on the field for LSU. So I think this is probably something similar. Remember, take it away from LSU, Steve Sarkisian. Steve Sarkisian went from, he was an analyst at Alabama. This guy was the head coach at Washington and Southern Cal. We know the path he followed, but he was an analyst at Alabama before he became the OC, and then of course the Falcons, and now he's the head coach of the Texas Longhorns. So this is more common where guys who've been coaches and coordinators, instead of going down a level, they're saying, I'll just be an analyst on a major staff, still stay in the spotlight, especially because analysts now can coach on the field. So you're getting a guy that has been a head coach 3 times. He's been the head coach at McNeese and the interim head coach at both Miami of Ohio and Western Kentucky. So Lance Guidry has been a head coach 3 times, and he's been hired to be a defensive coordinator 7 times at a variety of different places. So you got a dude with a high level of experience who's 53, high level of experience, was just the DC at Miami the last 2 years, and he's joining your staff as an analyst. He is overqualified for that position. But you can see how Brian Kelly is using this to his advantage. You're in effect, quote unquote, stealing a spot on a coaching staff. And that's awesome, man. A guy with that level of experience to sit in your meeting rooms, to help with game plans, to help with scouting, and obviously can coach on the field, can be on the headsets during game day. Yes. This is an absolute no-brainer whatsoever. You understand that he's not going to be long for your staff as an analyst, but what if you lose a coach next year on the defensive staff, which is always plausible? Could Lance Guidry be that guy? Sure. Or what if next year he gets a job somewhere else as a full-time assistant on the field? Okay. But for this year, in 2025, when you have pushed all these NIL chips to the center to build this roster out of the transfer portal, when you've got Nussmeier coming back, with everything you have invested in this roster, and then you look at this coaching staff as well, I think we would all agree. Tell me if you disagree. But I think we would all agree. Number one, this is the best roster, top to bottom, 1 to 85, that Brian Kelly's had since he's been in Baton Rouge. And it's the best coaching staff since he's been in Baton Rouge. I could look at the offensive team in 2023 and go, all right, Jaden, Malik, Brian Thomas, Will Campbell, Emory Jones. Yeah, okay. There's a ton of talent in that offense, no doubt. But the defense was atrocious. Talent, 1 to 85, this will be your best roster, and this will certainly be your best coaching staff as well. They put all the pieces in place to go make a run. Now they got to go do it come next fall. We got a long way to get there. You still got to go through spring ball and the spring portal window and then summer workouts and fall camp and then in the season. But you can tell they have stacked every domino in their favor. And Lance Guidry, as a defensive analyst, is a huge part of it. And another guy with ties to Louisiana, another guy that can help you recruit the state. Just check. Just checking all these boxes with all these moves you're making. There's nothing ambiguous here. There's nothing you're taking a shot on that guy. You're betting on the come with an aspiring young coach. No. This guy's 53 years old. He's coached for 35 years. He's been a head coach 3 times, a coordinator 7 times. He was just the DC at Miami the last 2 years. Now you get him as an analyst, and you're bringing him primarily, as I understand it, to work with the star position, and that's Harold Perkins. And there may not be a more pivotal or greater wild card on your defense for 2025 than Harold Perkins. Coming off the ACL, he's an All-American talent that you got to figure out how to maximize playing that position. Well, here you go. Here's a guy that's going to coach that position. Let's see how it looks. Lance Guidry joining LSU staff. Great get for Brian Kelly and the Tigers for the 2025 staff. All right, it's After Further Review. We are brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana. You can find the location nearest you at shawbillstire.com, shawbillstire.com. Started in Morgan City back in 1968. Here we are. Nearly 50 years later. More than 50 years later. Nearly 60 years later, excuse me. Still treating people like family. Still continuing to grow and expand. Beth Barron this year, as we told you, the Modern Tire Dealer of the Year, a national award given to one tire dealer in the country. And Miss Beth Barron from Shawbills got it. Why? Because they're the best. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. They treat you like family. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, it's After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. Drew Brees was on the Adam Schefter podcast and was asked about, point blank, the thing that a lot of you have asked me about. And I have no idea where that rumor started about Drew Brees coaching and all that stuff. I think it was probably just a spam account that many people didn't realize, and they got spoofed by it. But Adam Schefter asked Drew Brees the question a lot of people want to know. You ever going to coach on the Saints staff? We'll let you hear what he said next. It's AFR.
AFR.
GLO. GlowResources.com, GlowResources.com, GlowResources.com. If you're a business owner, you owe it to yourself, to your business, to your staff, to get to know Glow Resources. A great Louisiana business that has grown to have locations all over the country, serving businesses not only all over the country, but placing employees and jobs all over the world. GLO, GlowResources.com. Skilled blue-collar labor, welders, pipe fitters, crane operators. If you're struggling to find the right people, they can help you do it. GlowResources.com. But they also have a professional placement division. You need anybody for any type of office job in any industry, legal, accounting, anything. From an office attendant to a C-level management, everything in between, Glow Resources. GLO, GlowResources.com, GlowResources.com. And by the way, they're just a lot of fun to work with as well. It's Glow Resources. They are complete employer solutions.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. your law firm for a lifetime.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
For those that are wondering, Entergy, they're on alert. A dozen years ago was the last time New Orleans hosted a Super Bowl. Beyonce knocked out the power, if you remember. A lot of 49er fans complain and moan that they were in command of the game and if they didn't have the long delay because of the power outage. Blah, 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 blah. Of course, that's when Joe Flacco and the Ravens stormed back and won the Super Bowl. But anyway, Entergy says they have replaced the equipment that caused the outage during the Super Bowl back a dozen years ago. The Superdome has also installed LED lights now, so even if there were an outage, it would take less time for the lights to come back on. It's not those old lamps I would have to heat up, just come back on. Kind of like when you see the light show in the stadiums now. So, Dome and New Orleans are set to go, ready to go. I don't know. Beyonce, I feel like, could cause a power outage. Kendrick Lamar? I don't even know anything Kendrick Lamar sings. Is that...
No, that's not wild for you, no.
Yeah.
I don't think, no.
Would I know a Kendrick Lamar song? It's weird because I am...
Maybe. It just... Do you want me to play one? We'll see if you know it.
What do you think is the most well-known Kendrick Lamar song?
Paul,
like the one
you want
that
to help me out on that? I mean, DNA was pretty well-known. Be Humble was pretty well-known. It's off the same album. That is not Kendrick Lamar. Swimming Pools.
Now you're just saying words.
No, that was a song. That was a pretty popular one.
DNA, Swimming Pools.
But that
what else did you say? Sweat Equity. What did you say? What was
Be
the other
Humble?
One? Be Humble. That's it.
That's probably the one that...
Which one?
Be Humble.
Be Humble is probably the one that you would know most. Okay, well, I got to find it now.
All right, well, see if you can find that and let me know. Yeah, okay, well, yes, please do that. Yeah, it's it's strange for me to not know an artist because I love music. I do have a very eclectic musical taste. That's going to surprise a lot of people because, I'm a 42-year-old bald white guy. I get it. But, I mean, I could get down with, listening to John Lee Hooker and some blues. I could, obviously y'all know my affinity for grunge and alt-rock. Went to the Taylor Swift show. Thought it was awesome. Love R&B. Certainly R&B from my era, high school and as a kid. So I don't know, man. I love a lot of stuff. But that's just kind of I feel like I think a lot of people who are parents, this will make sense. I have a decade black hole of pop culture in my life from when Drew was born to now. There's just not a lot there by way of movies and music and stuff of the last TV shows that I know. It's coincided with, obviously, Drew, but then also professionally when you go from 32 to 42 and you're ramping everything up. It's just harder to find time to watch shows and movies and stuff. So that's it. And so I know the name Kendrick Lamar, but if you put a lineup of 100 people and said pick out Kendrick Lamar, I couldn't do it.
I don't think that I could either, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. But I swear, like, I couldn't name a song. All right, so what is this one?
This is Be Humble.
This isn't
or Humble.
This
Excuse me.
isn't
It's just
Sweat
Humble.
Equity.
That's not a
This
Kendrick
isn't
Lamar.
Turn Left.
Actually, it might be. I don't really know. Here.
All right. I got nothing.
Yeah, Sam.
That's the hook.
That's the hook. I mean, that's
wow.
what I figured you'd know if I, that was probably his most well-known, at least from his early.
Really?
Yeah.
Most well-known?
From his early
Yeah,
days.
from his early days. The one you might know might be Bad Blood with Taylor Swift. He's in that song.
Oh, I know, dude.
He's in that song?
Yeah.
You want to know something funny? So, this is an honest to goodness truth. I listen to Bad Blood every morning of my life. Not my choosing. So, okay, honest to goodness true story. I know we're veering here, so I apologize. That's like LSU's playing the number one team in the country in basketball in 36 minutes, and we've got to talk about Drew Brees and the same. But anyway, we've gone down this road. By the way, up at LouisianaSports.net, I do have a piece on the sports betting page. It's the Waterlocks is there, but it's all the prop bets. And one of the prop bets, you can pull this up, Paulie. So go to LouisianaSports.net, hit the sports betting page. You bet like on the coin toss, the national anthem, the first song odds. So the odds for Kendrick Lamar's first song is Not Like Us.
Yeah, that's a newer one. Wasn't that the diss track against Drake or something like that?
Don't know. Swimming Pools.
Told you there was a song.
Don't Kill My Vibe. Humble.
Oh,
Money Trees. United in Grief. All Right. I don't know. Okay, so what's the other one?
Well, Paul brought, his verse in Bad Blood. Here.
Bad Blood. That's what we're talking about. So, yeah. So, this isn't it. That's not the one they play all the time.
Right,
but
that's
okay.
what I was going to ask. I was like, is this like an alternate version of the song?
So, the point, you can go, thank you. But the point is, so every morning, so Erica leaves early to go to work. I bring Drew to school. So I get him out of bed and get him dressed and get him out of the house and bring him to the carpool and all that sort of stuff. Every morning when I'm getting Drew ready for school, like he wants Alexa to play Bad Blood. And then, so I have to say, like every day of my life, Alexa, play Bad Blood by Taylor Swift. So we listen to Bad Blood every morning, but it's not that version. And then when that ends, he wants to listen to Cruel Summer. And I try to get him to listen to other things. Like even other Taylor Swift songs. Like, hey, do you want to listen to 22? Or do you want to listen to Mean? Or do you want to listen to Annie? I mean, there's a million, Shake It Off. There's a million songs we could listen to. She's got like 50 singles. But nope, Bad Blood.
Taylor Swift really kind of has taken over your life, hasn't she?
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say she's taken over my life. Just that, Erica is like the...
She's taking over Erica's
Oh,
life.
no doubt. Erica is like, whatever you envision, Swiftie, like all in, whatever that, like, that's Erica. On Sunday, she's wearing her Go Taylor's Boyfriend sweatshirt during the AFC Championship game. Like, she was legit muse. My wife, who gets on me, like, she does not like to be around me when I'm watching the Saints play because it's a very intense experience for me. And it's lessened because my expectation is lessened, but especially at the end of the Breeze era, watching the Saints was a very, very intense experience for me because I, like many of you, realized, like, the sand was running out of the hourglass. Like, you were running out of time with Drew. So every opportunity missed, you're like, is that it? And especially after Nola no call, the subsequent playoff losses to the Vikings in 19, to the Bucks in 20, it was just like you knew it was ending. And so everything was just, it just felt magnified. But anyway, so she hates watching Saints games with me. Erica was dropping F-bombs during the AFC Championship game. She probably wouldn't like me saying that, but, like, I don't really care. She was letting them fly. And it's just us at the house.
Right,
but she was letting them fly. When Buffalo scored to tie it in the fourth quarter, before KC went and kicked the game-winning field goal, bro,
not happy? Not pleased about it?
Kiss your mother with that mouth?
Ooh.
Anyway. So there was our Bad Blood Taylor Swift deviation. And it's very odd because Drew has loved Taylor Swift since he was a baby. Like when he wasn't even old enough to know what that was. But we would distract him a lot of times when he was in the hospital when we needed to when they would put in like a PICC line or an a chest tube or something like that. A lot of times when they were messing with him, the way we would distract him was we would put like the Shake It Off video on a phone, and he would just be transfixed. And I tried, I have pictures of this, by the way, as proof, but I tried other stuff. Like I'd show him Britney Spears, I would show him Christina Aguilera, or whoever, my girls in the Bang Bang video, right?
Oh yeah,
you mean Jesse and Ari?
Yeah, there you go.
Nicki Minaj, Jessie J and Ari, Ariana Grande. Anyway, he wasn't interested in none of that, but he is, for whatever reason, Drew's just got his little things, right? It's just these. He doesn't communicate I hate using the word normal, but so we don't always know what's going on in his brain, what he's thinking, but there's something in there with Taylor Swift for him since he was a baby that clicked, and it has remained. So yes, all that because Paul mentioned Kendrick Lamar and Bad Blood. Okay, we're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, and because I just mentioned that my wife drops F-bombs watching the Chiefs, probably have to go to Lee Michaels and buy her some jewelry as a mea culpa, as it were. LMFJ.com, or how about just because Valentine's is coming up here a couple of weeks from Friday. Gentlemen, thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. At Lee Michaels, they've been around for more than 40 years. They've been helping Louisiana get engaged for more than 40 years. So if you want that beautiful diamond, you will always find only diamonds from the finest diamond mines in the world. You will never, never find a man-made or lab diamond in the case at Lee Michaels. It's not a science experiment. It is an expression of your love that'll last forever, that you'll be thrilled to pass down through generations of your family to your daughter, to your granddaughter. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. My apologies. I know we were going to talk about the Bree stuff there. Let me grab this quick break. We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com. We'll break. When we come back, I promise, I'll let you hear Drew Brees on the Adam Schefter podcast. I won't waste any time. He was asked point blank if he would ever have a role on the Saints staff. We'll let you hear that. We'll talk about it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Okay, y'all, we had the freeze and the snow last week, and as you drive around town, or maybe you see it in your front yard, you probably see a lot of brown now. A lot of the green plants and flowers are brown. No, notice that at the front of our neighborhood in a lot of different areas. So you might be thinking you don't need to go prune it. What do I do? Before you do anything, ask the folks at Clegg's if you're not sure. Because actually one of the things I didn't even realize they told me was, hey, you don't start pruning right away. Like some things will naturally come back. So don't touch. It's not time to do that yet. Anyway, let the folks over at Clegg's help. But the bottom line is this is the time right now. If you're looking to plant trees or shrubs, bushes, things like that, this is the time. You need to get those trees, those fruit trees in the ground. And Clegg's has a great selection. So get on by. You want to enjoy it in the spring and for generations of your family to come, Clegg's can help you do it. Johnny Naylor Seeds as well. Buy local, shop local. Clegg's Nursery.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play.
For the review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Drew Brees was a guest on the Adam Schefter podcast, and he was asked the question that many Saints fans have wondered aloud, asked, chatted about at bar rooms, by the water cooler, family gatherings. Would Drew Brees ever have a role? Could he ever join the New Orleans Saints coaching staff? Here's what he said.
I don't know. We'll see. You know, look, it's in my blood. It always will be. I'm always going to be a Saint. And so whether it's direct or indirect, you know, yes, I will always say we. You know, that's my team, my organization, from the perspective that I take so much pride in what we built and what we accomplished. And I'm always a resource to help, and I'll always be there to support.
He didn't say no. The reason, there's 2 reasons why I think that's a terrible idea. Number one is, first and foremost, is the time commitment. Drew Brees retired and then tried his hand at TV. But part of the reason he stopped doing TV after 1 year was the time commitment. I mean, he was doing studio work for NBC for the NFL, and he was calling Notre Dame games. So Brees and his family live in San Diego, and so then he's flying to South Bend for production meetings, and then calling a game on Saturday, and then flying to New York for the NFL on Sundays and Sunday Night Football, then maybe flying home on Monday. And so then you're home with a little jet lag, and you have Tuesday, and then guess what? You're hitting the road again. It ain't that much different than when you're playing football. So that's number one, is just the time commitment if you're going to be a coach, because it's no different than if you're a player. The physicality is different, but your time commitment's no different. That's number one. Number two, that is the best way possible to ruin the fan base's relationship with Drew Brees, is let him coach. Because, and listen, I understand, like, he is the greatest player in the history of the organization. He will always be 1 or 1A. That's only to leave room to say, what if someone comes behind him and is amazing? And plenty of organizations have had that. Like in New England, they'll never have another Tom Brady. They don't have a quarterback that'll come and win 6 Super Bowls. But what if they have someone comes and wins 3 Super Bowls? Are they number 2 or are they 1B? Figure it out, however you want to say it. The point is, Brees will always be deified in New Orleans. However, you can truly love someone, but there can be friction. I mean, how's that any different than in a marriage? You can love your spouse, of course. I mean, you would do everything for your family. You die for your spouse. But sometimes you argue over what you're going to do for dinner. I mean, you can have major arguments about finances or whatever. I mean, who knows? You understand. I mean, it's just or life. Or at the office, whatever. And the thing that's undeniable is, and unavoidable, is in professional sports, you will face adversity. Like there will be things that go badly. It's just how it happens. And so fans, rightfully, complain and direct criticism at coaches. And I would hate to see that part of a relationship with Breeze and the Saints be strained if that ever happened. Now, Breeze was also asked by Schefter if the Saints, because he said he'll always be there to be a resource. But he was asked by Schefter if the Saints have ever asked him like for feedback or input on a hire.
Feedback. I mean, look, I always have conversations. I have conversations with everybody in that organization about any number of topics. So yes, coach, yes. Hey, what are we looking for? Yes, look, and I lend my expertise or recommendations when asked.
I'm curious what Breeze would think about this hire, whoever it's going to be. Like, I have no doubt there's a part of the conversation where Drew Brees is going to be supportive of whoever the coach is. You just heard him say it. He'll always say we. He takes ownership and great pride in being part of the organization, which we all agree. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But I am curious what his thoughts are about where things are, because there's a strange juxtaposition of what the Saints did, basically everything they leveraged as far as the future of the organization to go all in to win with Drew. They didn't get back there, and now they're in this terrible situation by and large because of that. Would you do it again? Of course you would. I mean, I say it often. It's no different than what Denver did with Peyton Manning. They went all in. And they didn't make the playoffs for a decade after Peyton Manning. They finally got back this year with Bo Nix as a rookie. And, boy, they went through a lot of iterations. They went through different quarterbacks. They had draft busts. I mean, remember, who was that tall guy from Memphis? Remember that guy that they drafted in the first round? Remember that guy? What was his name? Paxton Lynch. Remember him? Like, Denver drafted Paxton Lynch in the first round. Denver had Brock Osweiler. You know what I mean? Like, they've gone through it. The Saints played Denver when they had a practice squad receiver playing quarterback. Now, that was COVID and it was different. But point is, they leveraged everything to win with Peyton Manning. And they did. They made it to 2 Super Bowls and they won one of them. Would they do it again? Of course they would. The Saints did the same thing at the end of Breeze's career. When they hit on that 2017 draft class, and then Nola no-call happened, and then every year it was all in, kicking the can down the road, restructuring deals to do whatever they had to do to make sure that they had the best roster possible to give Drew Brees a chance to win a Super Bowl before he rode off into the sunset. And it didn't happen. They got close. It doesn't mean it was the wrong decision. But the reality is you've got to understand that window is closed, and it's been closed. And everyone, me, you, all of us, have understood that for years now, except for the people in the front office who keep going back to the ATM. Like, they're busting at the craps table, and they keep going back to the ATM to get more cash to go try to win it back. And they keep just digging the hole deeper. And it's just making it worse. And now here you are. You're in a spot where nobody wants your job. I mean, you're down to your list of candidates are Kellen Moore, Anthony Weaver, Mike Kafka, and Darren Rizzi. That's your list. Like, let that sink in. The Saints, which for a period had won more games over that period than any other franchise in the NFL, are now this. I mean, you are a pile of rubble. All the things we've talked about. You got you're the fourth oldest roster. You got tons of bad contracts. You get the most dead money next year. You get the most. You get the least cap space. The most money over the cap. You don't have a quarterback. You're in a terrible spot. And nobody wants that job because they understand they're set up to fail. So who wants to take that job and fail? You got to take someone who has nothing to lose or has enough of a long tail to get another opportunity somewhere else. Won't be Drew Brees. Could be Mike Kafka. Mike Kafka gave an interview to OTB out at on Radio Row at the Senior Bowl, and this is really good. He sat down with T-Bob, and he talked about the interview process with the New Orleans Saints. He's pretty open about it.
Very well run. Mickey and his staff. I mean, there were 5 or 6 guys in the room. You know, the first one was a Zoom, so just kind of get to know you.
Yeah.
Pretty easy conversation, low-level kind of philosophy stuff. Then we flew out a few days ago, and I was in New Orleans, and we were able to kind of sit face-to-face and talk about all of those principles and all those standards and your practice schedules and how you're going to respond to certain things throughout the year and the off-season, in-season, different players, your experiences. So it's very well-rounded. Every interview I've been on has been different. This one just happened to be a little bit more face-to-face and a little bit more details in terms of your scheduling, and just there are some scenarios they put you in and they want to see how you respond.
Mike Kafka, he's impressive young guy who's likely going to be a head coach. I don't know if it's going to be this go-round in New Orleans, but want to keep an eye on. All right, it's After Further Review presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com, our title sponsor here every Wednesday. Man, if you suffer from ED, they have a variety of treatments. Even if you've tried other treatments in the past, there's a variety of different treatments they have that could get you back on track. It's Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. And, of course, tell you all the time about hormone replacement therapy. I've shared my personal story. I was a guy who played football in high school, was super into fitness in college. Believe it or not, I actually kind of had abs in college, which is ridiculous to think now, but it's true. Ran a couple marathons in my early mid-20s, and then life hit me in the face, man. Got married, had a son that came with a lot of medical issues. We ended up living in the hospital for 9 months. And then the years afterwards of all the stress and anxiety that comes along with it. Stress ages you. It has a physical manifestation. And lo and behold, I had a testosterone level in the 200s when I was 34 years old. I didn't do anything wrong. I was a dude caring for my family. But that was my reality. So hormone replacement therapy ended up being a great option for me. And I feel awesome. Like I say often, you don't know how bad you feel until you start feeling good again. So it's a simple blood test, man. Go for the consultation. A Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. Lowest prices, never any contracts. What do you got to lose? What if you start feeling better? Yourgoodwood.com. Check it out, yourgoodwood.com. All right, y'all. It's After Further Review. We got Auto Locks coming up. Jimmy will be here. Auto Locks are posted at LouisianaSports.net if you want them on the website. But Jimmy's here next. And LSU and Auburn, we're 14 minutes away from tip over at the Maravich Center. Number 1 Auburn at the PMAC. Tigers are 12.5-point dogs. Let's see if they could pull off the improbable upset. We'll talk about it next at CFR.
After Further Review.
Couple days left. I shouldn't say a couple. More than a couple. But we're counting down to Carnival. You got about a month left, honestly. But we're counting down to Carnival. And remember, Rouse's, over the course of Carnival season, will bake more than 600,000 king cakes. The cinnamon deliciousness. If you want a flavored king cake, you can get it. Or if you want the plain old Jane regular original cinnamon king cake like I like, you can get it at Rouse's. And if you have a client who lives out of town, or a family member who moved, or a friend who no longer lives in Louisiana, and you want to send them a taste of home, a taste of Carnival wherever they may live, Rouse's will ship king cakes anywhere in the lower 48. So go to Rouse's.com. You'll see the flipper on the homepage. New and traditional flavors of the king cakes. You'll see the big picture of the king cake. Click it. It'll show you how you can buy and where you can ship it to anywhere in the country. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Down the stretch we come, final segment on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
What's up, man? Time to go to work, baby. Yeah, we betting today with both hands, man. It's Wednesday night in college basketball.
Yes, sir. I heard you're at the office right now.
Yes, we're at the Queen, baby. It's the draft. You know, not all of us can go fishing in Cabo this time of the year, so I mean, I got to get in the trenches over here. Try and make some money, baby. Pick some winners. So,
all right. Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking at the website over at LouisianaSports.net. Otterlocks are posted there every single day. You handed out 5 picks to Hunt earlier for the website.
Yes.
You want me to tee them up for you? Yep. All right.
Yes.
First up, Ole Miss laying 6.5.
Favorite pick of the night.
Okay.
You know, money line. Put them in a parlay. Bet them. Get them now. I got them at 5.5 last night. I'm not sure what they are right now at DraftKings. Here at the Queen, it's an 8 p.m. tip, so I'm trying to focus on the 6 o'clock tips right now. Okay. But I'm looking at my sheet over here. It's at 6.5. Hey, did you not learn last night? Single digits. Listen, it goes without being said. It's on the half point. Buy it to the whole point.
Okay.
Whether you're pitching or catching, and that would make the difference last night in the Texas A&M game for some.
By the way, you said you got it. You said you got it at 5.5. You gave it to Hunt at 6.5. It's already at 7. So if you want it, you better get it because it's climbing.
Yeah, I still want it. I'll take it up to -8. But
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, so chalk early, dogs late.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
All right.
Who's the next one on the list?
LSU getting 12.5 at home.
Soft spot. It was kind of a soft spot, and, this is where LSU is right now. It's a little bit of a soft spot for Alabama, right after a couple of tough games and before a stretch, and that's the way it is in the SEC when teams play. South Carolina, LSU. Oh, I'm trying to forget who else is in the bottom of the league. But anyway, they – and look, they got 3 tough games. They're coming off of that high-profile 2-point win against Tennessee, basketball game day on campus. The whole deal, man. It was an emotional win. Johnny Broome made his comeback. He played 33 minutes. This is how LSU could be competitive. So, yeah, one of the few times that we're taking LSU plus the 12.5.
All right. Mississippi State laying 1.5.
Yeah, last time Mississippi State was really – last couple of times, they failed to cover. Ole Miss, they won in overtime but did not cover the 5.5 spread. Earlier this year against Kentucky, they blew a second-half lead. And this is another spot where they're going to be really excited. we've been backing Bama pretty good, but not tonight. Taking Mississippi State. The Humpty Hump will be fired up tonight, 8 o'clock. So I would wait on that one.
Okay.
Very, very public. Alabama is public. So even the favorite here, it's Alabama's a public dog tonight, being a higher-ranked team. Wait closer to tip. You should get a better number than what we have right now.
Would you play it at 1.5, or would you buy it to 1?
That's
okay. Buy it to 1.
On
All
a half a point.
Right. Buy it to 1.
Digit.
Got it.
Let me know if I'm speaking too fast.
All right. Buy it to 1.
Let's
so
go.
West Virginia plus 9.5, but obviously we're going to buy that to 10.
Absolutely. So another one, emotional spot. Houston absolutely stole one. Prime time Saturday night at Fog Allen. Kansas had the ball and the lead with under 15 seconds to go.
1 minute
both at
remaining.
the end of regulation and at the end of the first overtime, they can't get it done. They go lose in double overtime. Houston, West Virginia is a tough place to play. After an emotional win, I'm going to take West Virginia plus the points in that one.
Last one is DePaul.
DePaul, UConn, huge public play. They've been pretty public all year. DePaul's one of the most improved teams in the country. This is way too many points. DePaul it should be competitive in this spot, catching 13 or so.
Where are you tomorrow?
We're at the original walk-on. Me and all my friends flying solo, just with all the guests on the line. So the original walk-ons tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Just be careful, too, by the way. I just noticed DePaul is also playing the UConn women, so make sure you're playing the men's basketball game, not the women.
Yeah, we're playing the men.
We're playing the men's game. The women's line is 33.5. All right. Thank you, Otter. Have a great night. Good luck.
Good luck.
All right, that'll do it for us here. Muse, Pollock, thanks. See you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. We always talk about the Volkswagens, but remember when we talk about certified pre-owns, all different makes and models. So obviously with South Point Volkswagen, because they sell more new vehicles, they have more trade-ins. So if you're looking at their pre-owned inventory, or if you're looking to buy a used vehicle, make sure you check out South Point Volkswagen. Check out all the used car lots, but make sure you check out South Point Volkswagen. You go to the website, hit the used tab right at the top, and you can see all of the inventory. Every used vehicle there, you can search the entire inventory by make, model, body style, price. They have Volkswagens. I mean, there's a 2021 Honda Accord. So many different vehicles. They got pictures of all the vehicles if you want to check them out there at SouthPointVW.com. That's SouthPointVW.com. A Jeep Cherokee, Hyundai Elantra, a Volkswagen Tiguan. Check them out. South Point Volkswagen, SouthPointVW.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.